Stargell and Sister Sledge were family as Pittsburgh won the '79 World Series. But 3 times earlier in the decade, a different uniform dominated, and Bench, Rose, Perez, Morgan, and the Big Red Machine won 2 titles to take the '70s matchup over the Bucks. Last night, the old uniforms returned, and Oliver Perez brought back echoes of 1979. Who will set off the fireworks tonight? It's the Reds and Pirates next on FSN Ohio. It is a gorgeous night in Pittsburgh, and PNC Park is sold out for a 25th anniversary celebration of the 1979 World Series champs. The current Pirates have been playing like that of late. We'll see if the Reds can get them tonight in Game 2 of a 3-game series here on FSN Ohio. A very pleasant good evening, everybody. I'm Dan Hort alongside former Reds pitcher Chris Welsh. Welcome to Reds Baseball here on FSN Ohio. Chris, tonight the Reds will play their 97th game of the season. Last night marked the first time all year that Adam Dunn did not see any action. He didn't start. He didn't get in as a pinch hitter. He is back in the starting lineup tonight.
He's been Mr. Durable all year long, no doubt about it. But with a very tough left-hander on the mound last night, Dave Miley gave him the night off. But he's back in there tonight mainly because he's got a right-hander on the mound in Josh Fogg. He's 4 for 11 against Fogg, and of course Adam Dunn sitting on 26 home runs, just 1 shy of his career high.
One of his home runs this year came off the guy he'll be facing tonight.
And he's a sinker ball pitcher, and the matchup is pretty good for Adam Dunn because Adam Dunn's got great plate coverage. If Fogg gets the ball up, you can get it airborne. And of course, Adam Dunn's got plenty of power, 26 dingers on the year. Maybe he can hit a couple tonight and the Reds win.
Last night, the Reds couldn't do much against Oliver Perez. He's been a Reds killer this year. Well, Aaron Harang can say the same thing against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, Aaron Harang has really been on fire since coming off the disabled list, not only against Pittsburgh, but against everybody. But in 15 starts overall, he's 6-2. His earned run average is coming down every start. Career against Pittsburgh, how about 3-0 with a 2.0 earned run average? Josh Fogg, he's throwing very good baseball lately. He's 6-7 on the year, but the last 2 seasons, Josh Fogg has had double-digit wins, and the Pirates feel like he's a pretty good pitcher at this point in the season.
This will be the 4th game of the Reds' 5-game road trip. So far, it has not been a pretty picture. Will they win tonight? We'll find out shortly here on FSN Ohio. Reds Baseball on FSN Ohio is brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By your local Chrysler and Jeep dealers. By the Ohio Lottery. The Ohio Lottery's Pick 3 Red Ball promotion is back now through August 28th. Odds are you'll have fun. By your local Dodge dealers. Grab life by the horns. And by Skyline Chili. Game time or anytime when you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Skyline Chili, the official chili of the Cincinnati Reds. Let's take a look at our Chevrolet lineup for the Reds. Sean Casey hitting third as it's Friel, Larkin, and Casey to begin things against Josh Fogg. Then Adam Dunn, D'Angelo Jimenez, and Willie Mo Pena back in the 6th spot after hitting cleanup last night. Jacob Cruz, Jason LaRue, and Aaron Harang round out the starting lineup. Casey looking to extend a 4-game hitting streak tonight, and they will be opposed by right-hander Josh Fogg.
He is 6-7 on the season, Josh Fogg is. He is 28-28 career-wise in 18 starts. No complete games for the Bucks this year. 574 earned run average, and he's the 5th starter in this very talented 5-man rotation. He's a guy that is not overpowering by any means. In fact, he's the softest thrower of any of the starters that the Pittsburgh Pirates are going to run out there. But Lloyd McClendon very confident as to the way Josh Fogg is throwing the ball. And the reason why, well, our Pontiac scouting report will tell you why. He's a control pitcher. He sinks most of his pitches, and he's been very good lately in changing speeds on every one of his pitches. So he's a guy that can pitch to a scouting report, and against the Reds, of course, that means keeping the ball down, trying to induce some ground balls. And Josh Fogg in that throwback uniform back in the 70s is out there to toe the rubber tonight for the Buccos.
Worth pointing out that the loudest applause for the members of the '79 team reserved for Dave Parker, the Cobra, when he was announced tonight.
As it should. MVP, of course. I don't know if it was 1979, but it was back in the 70s that Dave Parker earned the MVP award. And you talk about a lineup of big guys. Wow. They all look like Willie Mo Pena.
Well, Ryan Friel, not a big guy, but certainly producing as the Reds leadoff batter, a .271 batting average, a much better on-base percentage as he's been drawing quite a few walks this year. 1 homer, 16 runs knocked in. And the first pitch of the night down the middle for a strike from 27-year-old right-hander Josh Fogg. Fogg got off to a horrendous start this year. He lost his first 4 starts. He had a 9.00 ERA. One of those starts was against Aaron Harang at Great American Ballpark. But after that dreadful 0-4 start, he's gone 6-1. I beg your pardon, 6-3. 0-2 pitch on the way. Just missed outside. Ryan Freel starting at third base tonight after starting in left field last night. Hard ground ball to third, scooped up on a bounce by Makoviak, and his toss across in time for the first out of the ball game. Let's take a look at the 4 defensive alignment for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Big Randall Simon at first base. He was not in the lineup last night. Castillo, Wilson, and Makoviak in the infield. Jason Bay in left, Tyke Redmond in center, Craig Wilson in right. Jason Kendall, as is almost always the case, doing the catching for pitcher Josh Fogg. Barry Larkin steps in with a .294 average, 5 home runs and 34 runs knocked in. And he drives one deep to left on the first pitch from Fogg, and it is in the first row of the seats and gone for a home run. Barry's 6th of the year. 1-0 Reds in the first inning.
Well, a very typical Barry Larkin home run. Some guys hit them high, majestic, with a lot of hang time. Barry Larkin hits line drive home runs, and he got the bat head on out on that pitch. A get-ahead fastball from Josh Fogg, and a quick point for the Reds.
Career hit number 2327 for Barry Larkin. Worth pointing out because with one more hit, he will pull even with Davey Concepcion for second on the Reds all-time list. That brings Sean Casey to the plate. Sean had a couple of base hits last night, and he takes outside on the first offering from Josh Fogg. Case second in the league in hitting behind Barry Bonds, who's celebrating a birthday today. Sean with 15 home runs. And that evens the count at a ball and a strike. Sean has spent the last couple of days in Upper St. Clair, PA at his parents' house. Whenever the Reds play in Pittsburgh, he sleeps in his childhood bedroom, the one with the Don Mattingly poster still on the wall. It's a weak grounder to first, scooped up by Randall Simon, and the big fella chugs over to the bag in time for the second out of the inning. Let's take a look at our Rico home run replay on this first pitch homer by Barry Larkin.
Now, we talked about Josh Fogg being a control pitcher, has to keep the ball down. Barry Larkin, a very good high ball hitter. That ball qualifies as high because it was belt high, and Larkin did just that. Belted a line drive right into the first row of the left field seats.
Only the 13th tater surrendered by Josh Fogg because of that good sinking action on his pitches. Well, here's a guy who's hit one of the 13 home runs off him, Adam Dunn. And he takes a strike on the first delivery. Adam watched a game last night for the first time all year. Did not get in as a pinch hitter after playing in some way, shape, or form in the Reds' first 97 games. Now he falls behind, no balls, 2 strikes. Adam with 26 bombs this year, one off his career high, which he set last year. He watched 3 straight pitches. They were all called strikes by Alfonso Marquez, and he strikes out to end the inning. But the Reds are on the board on the Larkin homer. And after a half inning, it's 1-0 Cincinnati. Here's a look at the Chevrolet starting lineup for Lloyd McClendon's Pittsburgh Pirates. Catcher Jason Kendall leads off after having 3 hits last night, followed by Jack Wilson, Rob Makoviak, Craig Wilson, Jason Bay, Tyke Redmond, Randall Simon, Jose Castillo, and Josh Fogg. Kendall looking to extend a 9-game hitting streak. He'll be facing right-hander Aaron Harang.
And it's been kind of a tale of 2 seasons for Aaron Harang, previous to the disabled list where he had elbow problems, and then post-disabled list elbow problems. The post-disabled list outstanding numbers, 6-2 overall. That earned run average continues to come down, 70 strikeouts in 84 innings for Harang. The guy is looking for his 3rd straight win. He's got a sneaky fastball according to our Pontiac scouting report. He's got good control, not really much of a threat at the plate. Still just 1 hit on the season for Aaron Harang, but a guy who's beginning to really see how good he can be. Very high ceiling. The Reds thought when they obtained him from the Oakland A's, and he's now pitching to his capability.
His first pitch of the game, an 89-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. And he gets ahead of Jason Kendall, no balls, 2 strikes. Kendall 2 singles and a double last night. The double, something of a rarity Kendall is hitting .315. He has 107 hits this year, but nearly all of them have been singles. 88 singles out of 107 hits. Certainly not a prototypical catcher. Can steal a base. He's had as many as 26 steals in a season. Harang's 0-2 pitch. You could see Kendall was tempted but did not go fishing at the slider that just missed outside.
Well, if you're a right-handed hitter in this ballpark that can hit the ball the other way, you're going to have yourself some extra base hits. It's very short down the right field line, just 320. A lot of balls banging off that fence.
Harang comes back inside and misses, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a look at the right field fence and a very tall wall that you need to clear for a home run to right. Not very long in terms of distance, but it is very high. 2-2 pitch, grounded weakly to second base, gobbled up by Jimenez for the first out in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at the 4 defensive alignment for the Reds, with Jacob Cruz making a start in right field tonight. Willie Mopeña in center and Adam Dunn in left. In the infield, it's Casey Jimenez, Larkin, and Friel. Jason LaRue does the catching. Aaron Harang on the mound for the 16th time this season. Pirates all-star shortstop Jack Wilson steps in. Jack batting .326 with 8 home runs this season. Reds on top 1-0 thanks to a home run by Cincinnati shortstop Barry Larkin. Wilson had a hit in 5 trips last night. He has struggled a bit since the All-Star game. He came back from that 2-day trip to Houston saying even though he only batted once, he was dead tired from all the festivities. That fly ball to right, grabbed by Cruz for the second out here in the bottom of the first.
We talked about it last night, Dan Horton, again tonight. Worth mentioning that the fact that, like Great American Ballpark, at this time of night, not an easy time to go up there and be a batter. It's tough to recognize the pitch, the spin on the ball. You can't really judge the speed of the ball. You can see the bright glare out in center field. That's what the batter is looking into, trying to pick the baseball up. You get a pitcher out there throwing mid-90s, awfully tough to do anything here until that sun sets a little further on the horizon.
First pitch breaking ball from Harang to Makoviak, in for a strike. And I would think Willie Mopeña might have to battle some sunlight on a fly ball to deep center or deep left center. Broken bat grounder hit to second. Should be a 1-2-3 inning for Harang, and it is a good start for the Reds' right-handed starter. At the end of 1, it's the Reds 1, the Pirates nothing. Jimenez, Pena, and Cruz to face Josh Fogg here in the second inning. The Reds up 1-0 on a Barry Larkin homer in the first. D'Angelo hitless in his last 2 games after putting together a team-high 11-game hitting streak. Weak grounder to the right of the mound, missed by the pitcher, but scooped up by Castillo, and the youngster's sidearm throw to first in time for the first out in the second inning.
Now Willie Mopeña comes up, batting in the number 5 spot tonight, or make it 6 spot tonight. But let's take a look at Willie Mopeña. A couple of years ago, notice the front foot, the left foot in those pictures bailing out, stepping in the bucket. But what has he done lately? On the tutelage of Chris Chambliss, he takes that stride now either right towards the pitcher or even a little bit towards the plate. That gives him much better plate coverage, and he's not nearly as susceptible to the breaking ball. From what I can see up here, Dan Hort, that's about the biggest adjustment that Willie Mopeña has made mechanically to make himself a much better major league hitter.
The result, a .289 batting average and 14 home runs and limited playing time. And Willie Mo took ball 1 from Josh Fogg. 7 homers in his last dozen games. 15 runs batted in during that stretch. The reigning National League Player of the Week. And Willie Mo gets a 2-0 advantage against the 27-year-old righty.
Just harken back to the days of your not-hole days or your Little League days, and how many times did your coach used to tell you, don't step in the bucket? Well, that's essentially the same thing that Chambliss and his former hitting coaches, Willie Mo that is, have had to tell him continuously. Don't bail out. Don't step towards third base. Try to keep that stride to a minimum. He's got plenty of power in his hands, wrists, and upper body. Doesn't have to use a whole lot of legs, and he just wants to stay back and be able to drive the ball. And boy, he has made big-time strides this year in that category.
Looked like he was taking all the way on 3-0. He takes a strike. It's 3-1.
Hot, hot, hot in the month of July. 333 and 7 dingers.
And he draws a walk with 1 out in the second inning. Fox Sports Net Across America is the new weekly magazine show that reveals sports' most dramatic stories. This week, they profile Danielle Green's amazing journey from Notre Dame basketball star to wounded soldier in Iraq. Fox Sports Net Across America airs Saturday at 10:30 here on FSN, Ohio. Pena boarded first. Jacob Cruz steps in. Willie Moe draws a pickoff throw and gets back safely. Pena has 3 stolen bases. He's only been caught once. And Cruz takes outside for ball 1. Jacob hitting .240. He's belted a couple of homers, has 19 runs batted in, and he leads the majors in pinch hits this season with 11 of them. Line drive to short, caught by Wilson, back to first, not in time to double up Willie Moe. 2 out now in the inning. Jason LaRue coming up next. The good folks from Domino's have come up with another great special for Reds fans. Call Domino's now and ask for their new 5-5-5 deal. For a limited time only, you can enjoy 3 medium 1-topping pizzas for as little as $5 a piece. Jason LaRue, the Reds' hottest hitter. He has a 9-game hitting streak. He had a triple and a homer last night, make it a 10-game hitting streak as he goes after the first pitch and lines it out to Jason Bay for a 2-out single.
Now, we've talked about it before. If someone's going to, if Dave Motta expects to have good production missing key players like Austin Kearns and Ken Griffey Jr., somebody's got to step it up. And having a kind of a below average first half of the year, Jason LaRue's beginning to come on. He was just swinging the bat well when he got hit by a pitch and was set back for a few days, but he seems to be swinging the bat much better now.
You see the hitting numbers for Aaron Harang. They are not pretty, nor was that swing. 0-1.
You know, usually I don't want to bury a pitcher in the scatter report because, you know, they're not all good hitters. But when a guy's got is 1 for 30, you have to make mention of it. And with 19 punch outs, that's right. You know, he looks pretty good at the plate until he begins to swing.
He's an imposing figure at the plate. Not much bat speed. But at least he's up there hacking. You never know. 0-2 on the way. And Harang wisely lays off.
I don't know if that helmet's all right. You know, they may need to go out and get a new helmet. Maybe they forgot to bring his big helmet.
I think Paul Wilson and Chris Chambliss are amused by those first 2 cuts.
I don't know whether it's the cuts or his stance at the plate. He's got that part of it down.
He strikes out to end the inning. Strikeout number 2 for Josh Fogg. No runs, 1 hit, 2 men left on base. In the middle of the second, 1-0 Reds. Reds baseball on FSN Ohio is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Get the feeling, Toyota. By Domino's. Call Domino's and enjoy their new 5-5-5 deal. 3 medium single topping pizzas for as little as $5 a piece. By Crown Royal. Enjoy its smooth taste with friends tonight. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Dan Hort filling in for George Grand tonight, along with Chris Welsh. Happy to have you with us for Reds baseball here on FSN Ohio. The Reds looking to snap him on his 3-game losing streak, and even this series against the Pirates at a game apiece. The finale coming up tomorrow afternoon at 1:35. Brandon Clausen will look for his 3rd win in as many major league starts, and he'll be opposed by another impressive young left-handed pitcher, Sean Burnett, who has a 2.18 ERA for Pittsburgh. Cleanup hitter Craig Wilson leads off in the home half of the second after a 1-2-3 first for Aaron Harang. And first ball swinging, Wilson pulls it foul. Craig leading the Pirates with 18 home runs and 55 runs batted in. He is the most strikeout prone hitter in this lineup. He's whiffed 96 times this season. Harang misses low. It's even at a ball and a strike. The Pirates going to variation number 2 in turn back the clock weekend uniforms with the pinstripe tops and the all black pants.
You know, you'd almost need a 2-week homestand.
You need 9 games.
If you wanted to go through all the different combinations.
Yep, you'd need 9 games to go through all the combos. They had the gold tops with the black pants last night. And sure enough, Wilson goes down on strikes for the 97th time this season. The first punch out tonight for Aaron Harang. Let's take a look at tonight's storylines.
Well, you want to lift the fog. Josh Fogg against the Reds in his 6 starts is 4-1, pretty decent earned run average. And you want to come back from the break? Well, the Reds haven't come back the way Dave Miley had hoped they were coming back. 3-6 since the All-Star break, and right now in the midst of a kind of a dismal road trip. Lost 2 in a short 2-game stand in Chicago and lost the opener last night here in Pittsburgh.
Harang's first pitch to Jason Bay, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. The rookie left fielder hitting .301. Another player picked up from the Padres in the Brian Giles deal last year. He hits a towering pop-up that will carry back into the seats behind the plate. And the count is no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, the Pirates have made a couple of trades of note over the last few years, in which, if you look at them right now, you feel like they've really come out ahead on. Number 1, of course, is the one that we talked about last night, to bring this player, Jason Bay, and last night's starting pitcher, Oliver Perez, over from the Padres in exchange for Brian Giles. Good deal for the Padres, too, because they needed Giles. Of course, they're a team right now that is trying to make a run for the National League West. There's Dave Littlefield in the back there in the yellow shirt, fielding all sorts of questions, I would presume, right now by inquiring general managers about their ace of the staff, Chris Benson.
Benson's scheduled to start on Monday. And if he does in fact make that start for the Pirates, you can bet there are going to be plenty of scouts in attendance.
Now, the other trade of note that they have made, of course, brought over a covey of pitchers from the Chicago White Sox. There's Chris Benson. In fact, tonight's starter, Josh Fogg, came over from the White Sox in a trade that sent Todd Ritchie and Lee Evans to Chicago in exchange for Josh Fogg, Kip Wells, who's also a fine pitcher in the rotation, and Sean Lowe. So those right-handed pitchers came over, and they've really bolstered the Pittsburgh starting rotation overall.
Back-to-back strikeouts to begin the second for Aaron Harang. Hey, Reds fans, do you know how easy it is to dress like your favorite player? Go to CincinnatiReds.com and click on Shop for Everything. You'll find players' jerseys, T-shirts, and caps. CincinnatiReds.com, the place to shop for your Reds merchandise. Tyke Redmond up, and he takes ball 1 outside. 2 hits last night for Redmond, boosting his batting average to .267. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the Pirates have traded away high salaried players over the past few years. Their salary dropped this year, their team payroll, from $55 million to $30 million, and they are the youngest team in Major League Baseball. What was the old Subaru slogan? Inexpensive and built to stay that way. That's what the Pirates have become. Bouncing ball hit to second, and Harang will have his second straight 1-2-3 inning. Our score at the end of 2 here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Reds 1, the Buccos nothing.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cincinnati Reds and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
1-0 Reds as Ryan Freel in the top of the order comes up in the 3rd against Josh Fogg. First pitch of the inning in for a strike. PNC Park in Pittsburgh sold out for the 2nd night in a row as they celebrate the 25th anniversary of the '79 World Series champs, honoring great players from the past before the game this evening. And they also gave out Willie Stargell figurines tonight. Pops, of course, unfortunately passed away a few years ago. In fact, he passed away the day this ballpark opened. The Reds were here for the first game ever, and actually put a hurting on the Pirates that day, thanks to Sean Casey, who had 4 hits and 5 runs batted in. Freel bluffs a bunt. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. There is the Willie Stargell figurine, or at least the box that it came in. The co-MVP in 1979 with Keith Hernandez back when Keith played for the Cardinals. Friel lines one into right center for a base hit. It'll be cut off quickly by Craig Wilson, and after taking a big turn at first, Friel will head back to the bag with a leadoff single.
Boy, great example right there of what we always talk about, keeping your hands inside the ball. That ball was actually on the inner part of the plate to Ryan Friel, but he decided to keep his hands inside and get it to right field. Goes down to get it, doesn't try to overpower it. If you try to pull that ball, it may end up in a ground ball to the shortstop. So Friel reaches base in his second time up.
And Ryan obviously a threat to steal with a team best 18 stolen bases. He won't have to steal second base because of a horrendous pickoff throw by Josh Fogg. It's finally scooped up by Jose Castillo, and the hustling Friel goes from corner to corner. Randall Simon wasn't even looking for a throw, and Josh Fogg airmailed one to first base.
You know, if you chart all the pickoff throws made at the major league, minor league, and even amateur level all year long, and then chart that against a number of times a guy actually gets picked off first base by a right-handed pitcher. He wasn't even off the bag at the time. It was just one of those surprise moves, and he picked off, guess who, his first baseman by surprise. Randall Simon hustled down the first baseline to go fetch it, and there's Ryan Friel moving all the way over to third. It's a great opportunity here for the Reds to push another one across.
Barry Larkin at the plate. He went deep his first time up, sending one into the first row of the left field seats for his 6th home run this season. Friel at third. Third baseman Makoviak way in as Larkin swings and misses for strike one. Simon about halfway in at first, the middle infield staying back, so a roller up the middle would drive in a run for the Reds. Barry with 35 runs batted in, hitting primarily number 2 in the order this year. And that'll drive in a run as Larkin lines one toward the gap in right center. Friel scores to make it 2-zip. Larkin racing for second base, and as Wilson has trouble scooping it up, Barry heads for third and slides in safely. That'll be a double for Barry Larkin and an error on right fielder Craig Wilson, who got to the ball but didn't scoop it up cleanly. And that double for Barry Larkin ties him for second place on the Reds' all-time hits list with Davey Concepcion. His mentor is a major league rookie.
The Reds are hitting some pretty good pitches so far on the night. That ball down and away from Larkin after hitting a line drive home run down the left field line his first time up. He splits the gap in right center with that one, and when he saw Wilson bobble the ball, that's when he decided to head over to third base. So he picks up an RBI and ends up on third himself. The Reds again in a good situation to drive another run in.
Barry's driven in both Cincinnati runs. He's at third for Sean Casey, who swings and misses at a big breaking ball for strike one. Casey grounded to first his first time up as he looks to extend a 4-game hitting streak. Sean batting .342. And he fouls that out of play for strike two. I mentioned his first time up that he sleeps at home when the Reds play in Pittsburgh. I asked him if his mom always makes his favorite meal when he comes to town. He said absolutely. It's her homemade version of the Egg McMuffin. He calls it the Joan McMuffin. He has 2 every morning when he's home. The Joan McMuffin. I'd like to try one.
Say away, he swung the bat last night. Maybe he'll get some for the whole team.
He just got drilled by Josh Fogg. It certainly wasn't intentional on 0-2. And the Reds will have runners at the corners with nobody out, and Adam Dunn coming up.
Well, Josh Fogg just trying to come in there with a fastball and left it way inside. Looks like it got Sean right below the knee. Plenty of meat right there on the Casey shin. Maybe even got a little bit of that protector, the wrong side of the protector though. Casey wears one of those abbreviated shin guards, but that's to protect against a foul ball. Our teams in the National League faring as far as overall being hit by pitch. Well, the Pittsburgh Pirates number 1. Of course, Jason Kendall and Craig Wilson way up there in hit by pitches. But the Reds surprisingly in a number 2 spot. 50 times now they've been hit by pitches.
Jason LaRue among the league leaders individually. Runners at first and third. The Pirates will look for a double play and concede a run. If Dunn grounds one towards second base or short, with Larkin at third and Casey at first. Adam takes ball 1. He's seen 4 pitches so far tonight. He's watched all 4, striking out on 3 pitches in the first. taking a ball here in the third. 2-0 Reds, top of the third. Dunn swings and misses out in front of that pitch. And that squares the count at a ball and a strike. 26 times this year, Dunn has stepped to the plate with a runner at third and less than 2 out. He's only brought that runner in 6 out of 26 times.
That's not a very good conversion rate. You like to see that number up around 75%. Because really all you have to do, and most of the time the infield is back, and in this particular case, if Dunn hits it to any of the middle infielders, the shortstop or the second baseman, that's going to mean a run. And if he gets it anywhere in the outfield, normally a sacrifice fly. Problem with Adam Dunn, of course, is strikeouts in these situations.
A major league high 117 after whipping his first time up. That pitch got away from Kendall, and Sean Casey, always alert, moves to second base. I'll tell you what, for a guy who has no speed whatsoever, he is a darn good base runner because he is alert and gets good jumps.
He's worked at it. I mean, it's something that those guys who don't have great speed probably work at this more often than the guys that do have great speed. That ball gets away and not all that far from Jason Kendall, but if you get a good jump and if you read it right away, that's worth a good 3-4 steps before the catcher even gets to the ball.
3-1 pitch and a big one on the way. It's way outside for ball 4. The bases are loaded for D'Angelo Jimenez. And the sold-out crowd in Pittsburgh getting a little bit restless. No visible sign of stress on manager Lloyd McClendon's face, but you can bet it's bubbling under the surface. He was suspended a few games earlier this year when he went ballistic at an umpire over a call, and in that situation, Craig Wilson, the right fielder, gave him a book during his suspension called the Anger Workbook. Here's a swing and a line drive to left. That's a base hit for Jimenez. Larkin will score. Everybody moves up one base. 3-0 Cincinnati, and still nobody out here in the third inning.
Well, the damage done by the Reds in this inning as far as the base hits have gone against Josh Fogg have been hitting the ball the other way. Boy, that's a hitting coach's dream. Each one of the base hits, the one by Larkin, the one by Friel, and of course that one by D'Angelo Jimenez, this time hitting left-handed against a right-handed Fogg, going the other way and driving a run in.
RBI number 35 for Jimenez. Lloyd McClendon on his way to the mound as the only Cincinnati hitter who has a grand slam this year will step to the plate. Willie Mopena has 2 of them, including one against Pittsburgh at Great American Ballpark. And that's it for Josh Fogg as Lloyd McClendon goes to the pen. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Skyline Chili, the official chili of the Reds. It's 3-0 Cincinnati in the third. Start tomorrow morning with NASCAR This Morning, the only pre-race show that puts you on the track with up-to-the-minute standings, interviews, and in-depth analysis you won't find anywhere else. NASCAR This Morning returns Sunday at 11 here on Fox Sports Net.
Ryan Vogelsong after the quick hook to Josh Fogg, the Pirates starter. 18 times he has been in the game previous to tonight. He's 2-7 overall, had a 7-game losing streak. Most of those, of course, came as a starter. He's kind of banished out to the bullpen after he had a bad run of it for a while. His earned run average up over 6.5 now. And here's a guy that has tremendous stuff, and they're just hoping soon that Ryan Vogelsong will finally grow into his stuff and be able to put some wins on the board.
Willie Mopena steps in. He walked his first time up. 2 grand slams this year and 3 for 5 in his career with the bases juiced. He's hacking at the first pitch from Vogelsong, and he missed it for strike 1.
And that's a good idea. You've got to go up there in a bases loaded situation. New pitcher comes in, especially a guy like Ryan Vogelsong, who's a fastball pitcher. He's going to come right after you. Be ready to swing the bat right when you leave the on-deck circle.
Casey at third, Dunn at second, Jimenez at first. Already 3-0 Reds. Pena swings and fouls it off and falls behind Vogelsong. No balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Vogelsong picked up from the Giants in the Jason Schmidt deal. We've talked about the great trades that Pittsburgh has made over the past couple of years. At least so far, that one hasn't worked out very well.
Well, he's a young pitcher still, and he's had some control problems, but certainly has the arm. As you can see right now, he's throwing the ball 94, 95 miles an hour. We mentioned that Josh Fogg, a control pitcher, he's the softest thrower in the rotation. You put Vogelsong in there, you've got every one of the Pirate starters are going to throw throughout the game, not just top out at, but they'll pitch regularly 94, 95 miles an hour. That is a hard throwing crew.
Vogelsong's 1-2 to Willie Moe. Got him swinging with high heat.
Well, if you've got the stuff, you'd like to go right upstairs with it. Good four-seam fastball right there. You see a little tardy on it was Willie Moe.
So 1 out with the bases loaded. Here's Jacob Cruz, who lined out to short his first time up. I wouldn't be surprised if these two played together, since they both came up in the Giants organization. Cruz swings and misses at an off-speed pitch for strike 1. Cruz won a batting title at the AAA level when he played in the San Francisco Giants organization. He hit .361 in the Pacific Coast League one year. The 0-1 with the bases loaded, a swing and a miss, as Vogelsong has thrown 2 straight off-speed pitches to Jacob Cruz.
Yeah, very impressive for a young pitcher like Vogelsong, who possesses that fastball, but he knows that Jacob Cruz is a good fastball hitter. So what's he doing? Back-to-back pitches, pulls the string and gets him way out ahead.
Vogelsong's 0-2 pitch got him swinging on 3 straight. So far so good for Vogelsong, who was brought on with the bases loaded and nobody out, and has been able to strike out Pena and Cruz back-to-back. But now he has to get by the Reds' hottest hitter, Jason LaRue, who extended his hitting streak to 10 games with a second-inning single. And Jason has 3 grand slams in his career. He fouls off the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Jason LaRue went deep last night. He also had a triple in the ball game, belting that 2-run homer off Oliver Perez, his 12th home run this season. And the average climbing toward 250, he's up to 249 with the single 1 inning ago. The bases loaded, 2 out. And a swing and a miss as Jason falls behind 0-2. And the emotions have changed from the fans here at PNC Park. They booed Fogg. They are cheering Vogelsong. They thought he had LaRue, but Jason fouled it back to the screen to stay alive.
Now that's a dangerous place to throw Jason LaRue. If you chart the home runs and where they are in the pitch strike zone for Jason LaRue, he likes that ball up and out over the plate. Very strong hitter. He'd like to see Vogelsong come right back in that same spot.
He turned around that guy, Oliver Perez, for a long home run last night. The 0-2 pitch on the way. And LaRue lays off for ball 1. 3 runs on 5 hits for the Reds already. No runs or hits for the Buccos, as Aaron Harang has been able to retire the first 6 Pittsburgh hitters. 2 runs have scored here in the 3rd. And that's popped up. It appears playable for catcher Jason Kendall or the third baseman Makoviak, who calls off the catcher and makes the catch to end the inning. A tremendous job by Vogelsong, who leaves the bases loaded. But in the middle of the 3rd, it's 3-0 Cincinnati. The bottom third of the Pirates' order comes up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Randall Simon hitting 7th against Aaron Harang to lead it off. Simon having an awful year. He was a career .297 hitter coming into the season. He's about 100 points below that, batting .188. Harang's first pitch, and it's taken low for ball 1. The top of the 3rd took a long time. The Reds scored twice. They had the bases loaded. There was a pitching change. Aaron Harang, of course, had to endure that after pitching 2 very strong innings. Throws a strike to Simon, evening the count at a ball and a strike. As a pitcher, Chris, how do you handle that when your team is up there forever?
you hope they score a lot of runs, number one.
They got 2.
Because the more runs you get, of course, those are the pitcher's best friends. I don't think it was that long of an inning that it's going to make you kind of wait.
Simon's pop-up lands between the sliding Casey and the lunging LaRue, and Randall Simon stays alive at a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, sometimes you ask a pitcher and they'll tell you, well, I'd rather be out there in a game that is 0-0, and both pitchers are going back out there throwing up lots of zeros. Perfect placement right there between those guys. But more importantly, I think it's just to stay mentally focused. And for Aaron Harang, it's not to worry about what his team is doing offensively, but just to go over the batters that he expects to face next inning, make sure he has the scouting report right, and try to keep his positive frame of mind going.
Line drive by Simon into right field for a leadoff single. And the Pirates have their first base runner of the ball game. Now here's the summer takeoff upcoming schedule, brought to you by AmeriSuites and Wellesley Inns and Suites. The Reds wrap up this 3-game series and 5-game road trip tomorrow afternoon in Pittsburgh. Brandon Clausen and Sean Burnett, the starters, tomorrow at 1:35. And then they return home to Great American Ballpark, taking on the first place Cardinals tomorrow, Tuesday, or Monday, I should say. Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll see all 3 games here on FSN Ohio. For summer takeoff details on how you can stay at any AmeriSuites or Wellesley Inns and Suites and receive $100 off any airline ticket, visit summertakeoff.com. Jose Castillo hits with Simon aboard at first and nobody out in the bottom of the 3rd. The Reds leading 3-zip. Rang's 1-0 pitch. Hit on one bounce to Jimenez. He goes to Larkin for 1, back to first, not in time to double up Jose Castillo, but the Reds get the lead runner, Randall Simon.
Looks like DP lane all the way. The only problem is that Jose Castillo very quick going down the line, and that play took a little longer to develop than they thought. Not every ground ball, especially on natural grass, is a ground ball double play. That ball hit back in the old days of 1979, and We Are Family team. Probably a double play ball right in DP lane on that quick AstroTurf at Three River Stadium. There were a lot of double plays turned.
Vogelsong hits, squares to bunt, and takes ball 1 from Harang. Vogelsong replacing starter Josh Fogg after he only pitched 2 innings in this ball game, lasted 40 pitches, and Vogelsong came on with the bases loaded, nobody out, and got a strikeout, and a pop-up to get out of the inning with no additional damage. Jack Wilson getting a little treatment on his left hand. There goes the runner. The pitch is a ball. The throw down to second. Not in time as Castillo picks up his first stolen base of the season.
Well, you steal this right on the pitcher. You see the big high leg kick. Aaron Harang's a big guy, 6'7". He doesn't operate too compactly or very quickly out there. And unless he checks the runners and varies the amount of time that he holds the ball out there, you're going to see some stolen bases. And it looks like it was maybe his first slide into second base. It was his first stolen base. A little awkward down there, Jose.
And Harang has fallen behind the pitcher, Vogelsong. 3 balls and no strikes. .30 pitch. Vogelsong obviously taking, and he takes strike 1. So far this year, he's been a decent hitter. 4 hits and 16 times up for a .250 average. One of those hits, a double. Vogelsong not as big as Harang, but he's pretty big. 6'3", 215 pounds. Takes another strike, and the count is full. Trying to bounce back from falling behind 3-0, and he misses long away for ball 4. Harang walks the pitcher, putting 2 men on with 1 out and bringing Jason Kendall to the plate. And few things will annoy Dave Miley more than seeing a walk to the pitcher.
Now, that really goes for any manager overall, especially if you think you've got a situation where just walking the pitcher extends an inning that should be on its way to being over. All you do is get yourself in trouble, and when you do that, it's more or less a you lose your mental focus as opposed to something physically being wrong.
And he misses outside for ball one to Jason Kendall, who grounded out his first time up.
Not a good time for Dave Miley to send the sheriff, Don Gunnell, out there to talk to his pitcher, because after all, you don't want this inning to get out of hand. He has seen last night the inning get out of hand with Jose Acevedo on the mound. Prior to that, a couple of big-time innings with Corey Lytle on the mound in Chicago, and certainly Don Gunnell wants to say right here, hey, how about a little damage control right here? Let's stop it where it is, get a ground ball, make sure you stay aggressive, and pitch to what we've decided to go about on how to go about Jason Kendall, which is mainly keep the ball down, see if you can get him to hit the top side of it.
Kendall 1 for 10 in his career against Aaron Harang. 2 on, 1 out. Hit in the air towards shallow left center. 3 Reds converge. Larkin calls for it, and Barry makes the catch for the second out of the inning.
Nice pitch right there by Harang. A good fastball in on the hands and just jamming. He's got a good moving fastball, Aaron Harang does. It's got nice action on that one. Just misses the sweet spot, hits the trademark, and pops him straight up.
So with 2 on and 2 out, here's shortstop Jack Wilson, who flied to right his first time up. Takes ball 1 from Harang. Wilson doesn't walk very often. In fact, he's only walked 12 times this season. He's been to the plate about 400 times. Fewer walks per plate appearance than any regular in the National League. Being patient here, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Wilson looking on the thin side, and there's a reason for that. Since the start of this season, he says he's dropped about 18 pounds. Now he lines one into left for a base hit. Castillo will score to put the Pirates on the board. Dunn makes a sliding stop in left, guns it into second, but Wilson is safe for the 2-out RBI double. And it's 3-1 Cincinnati.
Well, maybe you see now why Lloyd McClendon was so quick with the hook to Josh Fogg. He wants to keep his team within striking distance. And he's got a pretty good offensive team lately. They scored some runs last night against the Reds, and they're hitting the ball here in the 3rd inning against Aaron Harang. That ball almost made it to the gap except for the dive of Adam Dunn. He brings it back into second base, and that prevented at least 1 more run to score. Wilson in there at second base with a fancy slide.
And now a single could tie it. Here's Makoviak, who swings and fouls off the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Makoviak broke his bat and grounded out his first time up. Second on the ball club in home runs with 14. The pitcher Vogelsong at 3rd, Jack Wilson at 2nd. And the 0-1 pitch. Fouled out of play for strike 2. Makoviak, a homegrown prospect on this Pittsburgh ball club. He came up through the system. He's now in his 9th year in the Pirates organization. In all those years, he's only played on 1 winning team. Played on a winning team in A-ball. Every other team he's ever played for professionally finished with a losing record. He swings, lines one toward the gap in left center. Dunn on the run, and he makes the catch for the final out of the inning, keeping the Reds on top. 1 run scores on 1 base hit. At the end of 3, it's 3-1 Reds. The Reds are getting the pregame party started on the Fan Zone next weekend, the 30th through August 1st. The Bud True Music Stage lights up as fans win prizes, singing karaoke Friday and Sunday while listening to Toast on Saturday. The Home Depot picnic deck will also be activated as fans stop to see the Maytag Skybox in Home Vending Machine on Friday, and designing your backyard playground on Saturday. For up-to-date info on the Fan Zone, visit CincinnatiReds.com. 3-1 Reds as we begin play in the 4th. Pitcher Aaron Harang to lead it off against Ryan Vogelsong. Came on relief in the last inning. Pitched out of a bases loaded, nobody out, jam. His first pitch to Harang in for a strike. And it's no balls, 2 strikes. If Chris Benson is in fact traded, depending on who the Pirates pick up, Ryan Vogelsong likely to move back into the starting rotation.
And if you talk to the Pirate people about what their strengths are in the minor leagues, they'll tell you right off the get-go that it's pitching. They've got guys even behind Vogelsong in the minor leagues that are ready for the major league level if there was room up here.
Including one from the Cincinnati area in AAA, John Van Benskoten, a former first-round draft pick. Harang strikes out looking, and Vogelsong has struck out 3 of the 4 batters he's faced since coming out of the bullpen. Here's tonight's Aflac trivia question. Who is the only minor league baseball announcer to have a character named after him on The Simpsons? The only minor league baseball announcer to have a character named for him on The Simpsons. The answer coming up a bit later in the show.
What do you think about that one?
Here's a grounder hit wide of first by Friel. A diving stop by Castillo. Throws to the pitcher, covering, and gets Ryan Friel by an eyelash. How about that play by Jose Castillo and Ryan Vogelsong getting to the bag.
Jose Castillo having himself a nice little night. Had his first major league stolen base earlier. A diving play into the shallow right field. Ryan Friel thought he was safe on that one. Well, he comes up and he's the quickest guy on the Reds ball club right there. So Castillo has a dandy against a speedster.
And Vogelsong had to catch a bullet.
I don't know about
on the
that
move,
call with that
and Ed
particular...
Rapuano might have missed one at first base. Barry Larkin up. Barry has a double and a home run in the ball game and takes ball 1. I think when Ed sees the replay, he'll realize that he missed that one. Two balls and no strikes to Barry Larkin, who has boosted his batting average to .299. His career average coming into the season, .295. In 18 major league seasons. As he continues to try and build a Hall of Fame resume. This year's class will be inducted tomorrow in Cooperstown. The big names, Dennis Eckersley and Paul Molitor. And our George Grand will preside over the ceremonies as the MC for the 25th straight year. Larkin takes ball 4, so after a home run and a double his first 2 times up, Barry draws a 2-out walk. Well, we mentioned Barry Larkin boosting his batting average to .299 at the age of 40. This is also Barry Bonds' 40th birthday today. He leads the National League in hitting, and we came up with this list for great achievements by athletes 40 and older. George Blanda scored 83 points as a kicker at the age of 48 in the NFL with the Oakland Raiders. Nicklaus won the Masters when he was 46. George Foreman won a heavyweight championship at 45. Nolan Ryan threw his final no-hitter when he was 44. He had 16 strikeouts in that game. Gordie Howe had a 44-goal season with more than 100 points in his 40s.
That's a pretty impressive list. Now, awfully tough to pick the most crowning achievement. Can you pick one out of there?
I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to go with George Foreman. Heavyweight champ at 45, knocked out Michael Moore.
I think I like George Blanda at 48.
That's pretty good. Casey up with Larkin at first. The count goes to a ball and a strike. How about when Bonds wins the batting title this year and hits better than .370 if he does?
He'll do that at 40 and then 41 and probably 42 if he chooses to play.
Vogelsong delivers, and Casey takes it outside for ball 2. Sean has grounded out and been hit by a pitch. Reds on top 3-1 here in the 4th, and Barry Larkin has driven in all 3 runs. Now he's at first looking for a ride home. That pitch gets away from Jason Kendall, and Larkin will scoot to second base Putting a runner in scoring position for the Reds' best hitter in those situations, Sean Casey. Josh Fogg had a wild pitch. That'll be a wild pitch charged to Vogelsong. In this game, the Pirates have a couple of errors, a couple of wild pitches, and have hit a batter.
This is not an easy pitching staff to catch. Jason Kendall handles the staff that throws overall as hard as anybody in the league. Plus, they're young, so they're going to be prone to some wildness. That ball gets down the dirt as it did right there off of Vogelsong, and it can bounce every which way.
He misses low to Casey. Back-to-back walks given up with 2 out here in the top of the 4th. And Adam Dunn will step in against Vogelsong. Tell you what, they have some statues outside this ballpark of Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell, among others. I don't know if you need to make a statue of McClendon. He has that stone face most of the time. That would be the pose. If you ever made the statue, that's the pose right there.
Very happy with the way his ball club has played lately, winning 18 of the last 24.
Dunn hacks away on the first pitch and fouls it straight back. Adam has struck out and walked in his 2 trips to the plate. 2 things he does very frequently. Leads the majors in strikeouts with 117. Leads the Reds and is among the major league leaders in walks with more than 70. Two on and 2 out. The Reds up by 2 as Dunn takes inside for ball 1. Adam won't like me mentioning this, but I will anyway. He is on a pace this year to set an all-time record for strikeouts in a season. Coming into the game on a pace to whiff 194 times this year. The big league record held by Bobby Bonds. Buries that, 189. Throw down to second base by Kendall. Larkin gets back safely. And the count goes to 2 balls and a strike on Adam Dunn.
You talk to Chris Chambliss about that, and most hitting coaches, and they'll shrug his shoulders and say, yeah, you know, we'd like to cut down on the strikeouts, but we don't want Adam Dunn changing his whole approach up there. What we want him to do is to think about getting a good pitch to hit, putting the bat on it. He's always been very selective at the plate. He's had a pretty good idea of the strike zone, but you don't want him going up there with 2 strikes saying, all right, now I'm going to take a little base hit to second base or over the second baseman's head. You want him to be able to swing the bat aggressively, because he is the type of hitter that can scare a pitcher. Because you make a mistake to Adam Dunn, you expect to get a brand new baseball.
He has an on-base percentage above 400, 402 coming into the game. He brought a slugging percentage of 557 into the game. So most modern baseball fans would indicate that those are the 2 single most important stats. And Adam Dunn scores very high in both categories despite the punch-outs. Larkin at second, Casey at first. That's popped up foul, no play on the left side, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dunn with 26 homers. That's how many he hit last year, and he missed the final 42 games of the season. And that foul ball by Dunn apparently scared the youngster. You'll be all right. Hopefully whoever caught the souvenir will give it to that family. I hope mom didn't drop the baby to try and catch the ball. The 2-2 misses inside, so the count goes full to Dunn, and the runners can take off on the upcoming pitch.
Looks like they're trying to crowd Adam Dunn with the fastball, trying to keep it in on him and keep it down. That's a very tough pitch for Adam Dunn to keep fair if he's able to make contact.
Two on, 2 out, a full count to Dunn. And the payoff pitch. Swung on, drilled toward the right field corner, a fair ball and a base hit. Larkin scores easily. Casey will be held at third by Mark Berry. It's a 2-out double by Dunn, and the Reds lead at 4-2. Check that, 4-1.
A nice bit of hitting by Adam Dunn on a 3-2 pitch. Looked like a slider down and in again, trying to crowd Dunn. And that ball went right into his sweet spot. Our Ohio Lottery instant replay on Adam Dunn's ball, a rocket shot down the right field line that plates a run.
RBI number 58 for Adam Dunn. And once again, the Reds have 2 runners in scoring position with D'Angelo Jimenez stepping in. He had an RBI single in the last inning. 4-1 Reds in the 4th. Vogelsong's pitch way outside for ball 1. Jimenez breaking out of a 0 for 8 drought with that RBI single his last time up. And he knocked starter Josh Fogg out of the ball game. Vogelsong mixes in a breaking pitch and misses with that. It's 2 balls and no strikes. The Reds have had somebody on in every inning and at least 2 base runners in each of the last 3. There's a strike, and it's 2-1 to Jimenez, who looks at as many pitches as just about any hitter in baseball. Not afraid to pick out one he likes, and he is among the Reds' leaders in walks this year with 54. He swings, pops it up. Third baseman Rob Makoviak gives chase, but he'll run out of real estate, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Unlike some of the new ballparks, there is some room in foul territory to catch a ball here at PNC Park. It disappears as you go up the lines. But in between the third and first base bags and the stands, you can catch some balls here. Counts 2-2 to Jimenez. And the count goes full.
Well, in case you're wondering, Dan Hoard, the Reds are 3rd in the National League this year in the number of pitches that they have seen. Only the Philadelphia Phillies and Colorado Rockies are more patient.
Have you counted that on your own?
14,346. 44 coming into the ball game. We'll give you an update after the game's over.
3-2 pitch. High and away, ball 4. Jimenez draws a walk, and the bases are loaded for Willie Mo Pena for the 2nd consecutive inning.
Oh, well, Lloyd McClendon's wondering what the heck happened to the reliever that he brought in the last inning. He had bases loaded, nobody out. He brought Ryan Vogelsong in from the bullpen. And just like that, 2 strikeouts and a pop-up to Jason LaRue as he got down to the bottom half of the order. He took care of that threat, no problem. In this inning, he's made his own problems.
Spin Williams picked up the bat phone in the dugout, and activity will begin in the Pirate bullpen.
This rally has started after Vogelsong retired the first 2 Reds he faced.
Willie Mo has walked and struck out, whiffing with the bases loaded his last time up. He has another opportunity with the bases juiced here in the 4th. Vogelsong starts him out with a big breaking pitch for strike 1.
Yeah, after keeping almost all fastballs on him last time up, he drops the hook on him. Vogelsong impressive, if not for anything else. He's got all 3 pitches. He's thrown the changeup, he's thrown the breaking ball, and of course we've seen a blazing fastball.
Willie Mo swings at a fastball and fouls it straight back. He's behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. The Reds on top 4-1. Barry Larkin has scored 3 out of the 4 runs and driven in 3 out of the 4 runs. Big night so far for the captain. The 0-2 got him swinging as Willie Mo strikes out with the bases loaded for the 2nd consecutive time up. The Reds get a run on the double by Dunn in the middle of the 4th. 4-1 Reds. Reds baseball on FSN Ohio, brought to you by Ford. See your local Ford store. By JTM Food Group, where service is success. And by Pepsi and your local Pepsi bottler. Pepsi, the choice of the Reds. Dan Hoard filling in for George Grant again tonight as George MCs the Hall of Fame ceremonies in Cooperstown this weekend. Along with Chris Welsh, we're delighted to have you with us for Reds baseball here on FSN Ohio. Reds on top 4-1, bottom of the 4th, as Craig Wilson looks at a strike to begin the bottom half of the inning. Craig struck out his first time up, one of 2 strikeout victims thus far for Aaron Harang, who surrendered 1 run on 2 hits in 3 innings. A swing and a fly ball hit well toward left center. Pena on the run, gets his glove on it, can't squeeze it. Craig Wilson races to second base, and he has a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, Aaron Harang had a tough time getting out of the last inning, but he got out of it with only giving up 1 run. This time he starts the inning off in a bad way, hanging a pitch to Craig Wilson. Plenty of power in that guy's back. A bad route by Willie Mo Pena. He went over a little bit towards left field, then realized the ball was going to carry farther than he had first anticipated. Changed his route, and by that time it was in no man's land, and that ball just off the edge of the glove. That's a catchable ball. It goes for a double.
Craig Wilson at second. Jason Bay at the plate, who struck out his first time up. And Aaron Harang hits him, putting runners at first and second with nobody out here in the home half of the 4th.
Now, what do they say? Stats don't lie. Well, we showed you early on that the Pittsburgh Pirates are the team that have the most hit batsmen all year long. The Reds are second. Interestingly enough, though, that is the Reds. The Reds have been hit 49 times. The Pirates now have been hit 60 times, but the Reds pitchers have only hit 29 other batters. So they've been pretty careful and conservative with their control.
Barry Larkin just convened a meeting behind the pitcher's mound to talk about the defensive alignment with 2 on, nobody out, and Tyke Redmond stepping up. Willis Roberts has started warming up in the bullpen for Pittsburgh. No activity going for the Reds, who lead 4-1. Redmond not bunting, and he fouls it toward his own dugout for strike 1.
If you ask the Pirates manager Lloyd McClendon which player on your ball club has come the furthest all year long, he'll immediately answer you Tyke Redmond. They've tried him in the leadoff spot. He was a little bit intimidated in that spot earlier in the year, but boy, he has gotten to be much better. Gives the team a much more professional at bat now than he did early in the season. Just kind of getting the hang of things.
Swings and foul, tips that one, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. Redmond hit in the 220s in April, the 230s in May, but he has been better than a 300 hitter since. A young guy who toiled for a long time in the minor leagues. He spent the last 3 years at the AAA level. Finally got the call up in August of last year and was very good over the final 2 months last season. The 0-2 pitch appeared to fool LaRue a bit. He did keep the ball in front of him, and the count's a ball and 2 strikes.
Good job right there by Jason LaRue. You know, he's got 11 pass balls on the year, but boy, he's come a long way in being able to block those balls by getting his body in place. The key there is to square yourself up as best you can to the ball and tilt your upper body a little bit towards the pitcher's mound, so when the ball does hit you, it has a tendency to go right back into the ground instead of squared away. Try to keep that double play in order.
Craig Wilson at second base. Jason Bay at first. And the 1-2 pitch. Just missed outside. Redmond was leaning out over the plate. Wouldn't go after it, and the count's 2-2. Harang stranded a couple of runners in the last inning. The Reds have already stranded 8 in the first 4 innings of this game. 2-2 pitch. High for ball 3. Harang had him 0-2. He's missed with 3 in a row. Big pitch coming to Redmond. Grounded back to the mound. Harang goes to second for 1. Larkin from his knees, not in time. And the Pirates will have runners at the corners with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th.
Well, Aaron Harang made the right play. He'd gone over ahead of time. What happens if the ball's hit back to me? Delivers it right over the second base bag. Don't know why Barry Larkin went down on that ball. The ball was right over the second base bag. He may have been trying to avoid Jason Bay coming into second base. Maybe Bay got a good jump on that ball. He wanted to make sure that he didn't get upended by the runner.
Number 8 hitter, or check that, number 7 hitter, Randall Simon, the batter, with runners at first and third and 1 out. Simon, a double play candidate to be sure. He hits it in the air to shallow left. Dunn charges. Wilson tags at third. Adam makes the catch, and the runner will hold after a bluff. A big out for Aaron Harang. Well, let's find out the answer to our Aflac trivia question. And you'll recall we wondered who is the only minor league baseball announcer to have a character named for him on The Simpsons. Here's the answer.
High Springfield, Dan Horde, Mike Side. Tonight, our Isotopes take on the pesky Shelbyvillians. The Topes are looking to snap that darn 26-game losing streak.
And how about that? Our own dandy Dan Horde. Congratulations,
Well,
Dan.
thank you very much. It's the only thing I've ever done that my nieces were impressed by. An appearance on The Simpsons. And just to make it perfectly clear, I did not choose the Aflac trivia question tonight. This was not a self-serving moment. Jose Castillo at the plate. Taken high and tight for ball one. You know, they didn't show the Dan Horde character's funniest line in that episode of The Simpsons.
Can you give it to us now?
I think the bases were loaded, and he said, that'll bring big Bill McCluskey to the plate. As soon as he pops up, we'll get to the post-game show. Apparently, Big Bill not having much of a year for Springfield. 1-0 pitch coming to Castillo. Grounded back to Harang, who's going to get out of the inning. There's a little soap bubble over to first and gets Castillo to strand two in the fourth. At the end of four, it's the Reds 4 and the Pirates 1. Dan Horde, Chris Welsh back at PNC Park in Pittsburgh. The Reds on top 4-1 as we begin play in the fifth inning. Jacob Cruz leads off against Ryan Vogelsong and takes strike one. Jacob has lined to short and struck out in this ball game. 4 runs on 6 hits for the Reds. 1 run, 3 hits for the Buccos against Aaron Harang. There's a swing and a foul fly as the count goes to no balls and 2 strikes on Jacob Cruz. McCluskey Chevrolet, home of the Quick Credit Guarantee. 1 click, 1 call, 1 number can do it all. 761-1111.com. Vogelsong's 0-2 pitch got him swinging for the 2nd time in a row. 5 strikeouts so far for Vogelsong. Monday on the Best Damn Sports Show period, presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll talk to boxing legend Mike Tyson about his upcoming fight in Louisville, his financial problems, and his chances of regaining the heavyweight crown. Catch the Best Damn Sports Show period Monday night on Fox Sports Net. Here's Jason LaRue, who singled his first time up and popped up to third his 2nd time up. Takes ball 1 from Vogelsong. Jason has pushed his batting average to .248. It lingered in the 220s for much of the season. And he gets out of the way of that inside delivery for ball 2. Jason LaRue has a minor league batting title to his credit. He won one at the AA level playing for Chattanooga. Now he swings and misses. The count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Vogelsong in his 3rd inning of relief after Josh Fogg only lasted 2. This is probably it for Vogelsong, who is scheduled to lead off in the bottom half of the inning.
You know, you bring up that point about Jason LaRue, Dan, and it goes to show you that it's hard to extrapolate numbers even at the AA level and project what a guy's going to hit in the major leagues. If he won a batting title in Chattanooga, he's never hit any higher than .249 in the major leagues.
He draws a walk with 1 out in the 5th. And that'll bring Harang to the plate in a bunting situation. Well, not only did he win a batting title in 1998 at Chattanooga, he hit .365 that year, and the year before batted .315.
Had 14 home runs, 82 runs batted in that year. He hit .365. Years in Cincinnati, .235, .236, .249, and .230.
And .248 right now. There's a popped up bunt by Harang. Randall Simon couldn't run it down.
Well, he's got a couple of sacrifices on the year, Aaron Harang does. Not much to boast about at the plate. Came into tonight's batting .033. Has seen his average slip a couple of points. He's down at .031 right now.
And the strikeout total climbs to 21 punchouts and 32 at bats.
Well, that's indicative of what the Reds have done all year.
Pops up another bunt. This one will be caught by Jason Kendall. So 2 out with a runner at first, and that'll bring Ryan Freel to the plate. Freel is 1 for 3 and should be 2 for 3. Grounded one deep into the hole between first base and second his last time up. Castillo made a great diving stop through to the pitcher covering, and Freel was ruled out. But the replay showed that he should have been called safe, as his foot got to the bag before Ryan Vogelsong's foot did. Slider on the outside corner for strike one. Vogelsong with 1 star on each side of the P on the old school pillbox hat. Remember when Willie Stargell used to award the stars to his teammates, the guys that had big ears with their hats covered with stars?
That would serve as somewhat of a little bit of an intimidation from time to time, kind of like in football. You look across the line, you see that linebacker back there with skull and crossbones covering his entire helmet. You wonder how many guys he's put out.
Or the Buckeyes at Ohio State, sure. Count goes to 1-2 on Ryan Freel.
A couple of other things that old '79 team used to do, the We Are Family days. They used to use different balls in batting practice, really juiced up baseball. So they'd start hitting balls into the upper deck at Three River Stadium, and the opposing team would watch a batting practice and say, wow, that's a pretty strong group over there.
I did not know that. Hard grounder up the middle. Another diving stop by Castillo. Freel robbed for the second time in the ball game, and Castillo has done it to him both times. In the middle of the fifth, 4-1 Reds. Welcome back to Pittsburgh as we head to the bottom of the fifth. Chris, any idea where I can find some steel wool?
I don't know, Mr. Clean. Do you?
Golly. Nice guy, bad luck.
I want you to be the guy to tell him that, please.
We'll send him the tape when I am far, far away from Pittsburgh. Tony Alvarez pinch hits to begin the bottom of the fifth for the Pirates, batting for pitcher Ryan Vogelsong, who worked 3 innings in relief and gave up 1 run. Harang hits the pinch hitter Alvarez right in the middle of the back, and it's the second straight inning that Harang has plunked a Pirate batter.
Now they've had the leadoff hitter on the last 3 innings. Once by base hit, once by double, and that time with a baseball right square behind the shoulder blade.
Jason Kendall steps in with a runner at first and nobody out. And Harang's first pitch taken outside for a ball by Kendall, who always ranks among the major league leaders in being hit by pitches. He's had a Pirate team record of more than 30 in a season.
Having a little bit of an off year this year. He's only had 11 right now. Craig Wilson leads the ball club with 20.
And the lead. Count goes to 2-0 on Kendall. Harang's first 3 pitches here in the fifth have been out of the strike zone.
This hasn't been as easy an outing for Aaron Harang as his last few outings since the disabled list, but you have to hand it to Harang. He's kept the damage to a minimum. He's given up only 1 run, even though he's pitched out of trouble last inning and the inning before.
Particularly last inning, runners at first and third, 1 out. He did not give up a run. And now it's 3 balls and no strikes to Jason Kendall. Nobody warming up yet in the Reds bullpen. We're in the fifth. 3-0 pitch on the way. That catches the corner for strike 1. Kendall making more than $10 million this season. A big contract that runs through 2007. It's one the Pirates have tried to get rid of but have not found any takers. Jason Kendall is a very, very good player. But $10 million is a lot of money. He draws a walk, and the Pirates have 2 runners on with nobody out here in the 5th. Let's take a look at our Ohio Lottery numbers tonight. The pick 3, 9, 7, 0. The pick 4, 0, 7, 8, 5. And the Super Lotto, 6, 24, 27, 38, 40, and 44. The plus number, 7. Jack Wilson up. He takes a ball as Harang is finding it very difficult to throw strikes here in the bottom of the 5th.
Again, for Aaron Harang, it's probably more of a mental thing. Maybe pitching around contact a little bit rather than being as aggressive as he was early on. Sometimes something gets into your head and you feel like you just can't do what you did recently, and he's pitched very well against the Pirates.
Wilson trying to bunt for a hit. Bunts it foul up the first baseline, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Wilson flied out his first time up and ripped a double to left. His last time up, he's driven in the 1 run tonight against that man, Aaron Harang. They're in at the corners to try and guard against that bunt possibility. Bunted fair, scooped up by LaRue. The second baseman gets to the bag a little bit late, but Jimenez got there in time for the out. And now 2 runners are in scoring position with 1 out, and Makoviak coming up.
Well, it worked perfectly for Lloyd McClendon and the Pirates. You reach the number 9 hitter, and then of course the leadoff hitter, and then you've got a very good batsman, a handler of the bat, and Jack Wilson up there. He gave a push bunt pitch before, trying to get a bunt for a base hit that would also double as a sacrifice. But that time he just lays down the sack and moves the runners over. So again, it'll be Aaron Harang trying to pitch out of trouble with men in scoring position.
Beechmont Ford, easy to find, easy to deal with. The largest truck dealer in Southwest Ohio with more than 1,200 trucks available at all times. Home plate ump Alfonso Marquez breaks up the conference on the mound. Don Gullett on his way back to the dugout. No warm-up activity going in the bullpen yet, but there is some stirring down there. Some guys have started swinging their arms in a circular fashion. And it looks like they are on high alert. 2 runners in scoring position for Makoviak. It takes ball 1 outside from Harang. Makoviak is grounded out and flied out. A 1-0 pitch. That's in for a strike. And it's even at 1-1 to Makoviak. 4 homers in 45 career games against the Reds. And this left-handed batter with a wide open stance. Way inside, Makoviak maneuvering his body to avoid getting plunked. If he had been hit, it would have loaded him up for the cleanup hitter, Craig Wilson.
Could be a little bit of a purpose pitch right there. Not purpose to try to intimidate Makoviak, but maybe buy a little bit of the outside corner. Come inside, adjust the batter's eye. Now take a little something off on a pitch outside and get a ground ball.
Harang's 2-1 pitch. Tapped weakly foul by Makoviak, and it's 2-2.
And that was the breaking ball right there. You know, not every pitch is designed to actually get the hitter out. Some pitchers will think 2 or even 3 pitchers ahead, like Greg Maddux is a good example of that. He always seems to be plotting and planning well ahead of time, but you've got to be at least 1 step ahead of the hitter, or else you're going to give up a lot of runs.
Like a good chess player, thinking several moves ahead. The 2-2 pitch, hit in the air to left. Dunn backpedaling. This should drive in a run. Alvarez tags at third. He will score. And it's a 4-2 ball game in the 5th.
Well, that's situation, the Reds will take an out in exchange for a run. They want to get out of the inning with minimal amount of damage. Aaron Harang was looking for a strikeout, and Koviak did a nice job getting it deep enough into the outfield to drive a run in. That's just continually shows you the importance of getting that runner to third base. So much easier to get him in.
2 out and a runner at second base. Here's cleanup man Craig Wilson, who has struck out and doubled in the ball game. Doubled off the glove of Willie Mo Pena in center his last time up. And Harang pumps one right down the middle for strike one.
You know, we showed you early on about Willie Mo Pena, how he's made an adjustment with his front foot where he steps a little bit straight towards the pitcher or even a little bit towards home plate now. Same for Craig Wilson. He's a guy that steps far away from the plate and then steps towards the plate with his left foot.
Swings and misses and falls behind 0-2.
So if you're charting that guy as a way to try to get him out, he is a guy that you can jam because he steps towards the plate. He'll jam himself, but you've got to be able to get that fastball in there underneath the hands or underneath the elbows.
And stepping toward the plate would help explain why he leads the majors in being hit by pitches. Pulls that one foul. The count stays at 0-2.
Exactly right. That would explain that, of course, because as you step towards the plate, your secondary movement will be get your body out of the way. But what it also does is makes him tougher and tougher to get out with that breaking ball away. It's got good plate coverage that way. If you can get inside with a fastball, that's the way you pitch it.
Kendall leads at second. The Reds with a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed as Harang gets the strikeout to end the inning. His third punch out of the ball game. At the end of 5 at PNC Park, it's Cincinnati 4, Pittsburgh 2. The Reds on top 4-2 as Barry Larkin gets set to lead off in the 6th.
New Bucks pitcher John Graybo, a left-hander, in for the 42nd time on a 4-game losing streak, 0-4 record. He's just hoping to keep the Bucks right there. One of the few times recently that Lloyd McClellan has had to go to the bullpen early in the ball game.
Larkin perfect tonight. 2 hits, a walk. He's scored 3. He's driven in 3. Grounds one to the left of the mound. Graybo gets off the mound quickly to field it and throws a BB to first for the first out in the top of the 6th inning. Well, tomorrow 2 great players will go into the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. Paul Molitor is one. Dennis Eckersley is the other. And Eck is the focus of tonight's Geico moment.
He's the type of guy that would challenge you. And we used to, when I faced him, we used to just kind of look each other in the eye, and we just knew that, you know, it was me or you, you know, and I think that's the attitude he took, when he went to the mound, and it really helped him as a reliever.
Dennis Eckersley, among the all-time saves leaders in Major League history, he had nearly 400 saves. He also had nearly 200 wins. He was a great starter, of course, before ever becoming a closer. A 20-game winner when he was 23 years old.
Kind of an incredible career, really, when you think about it. The fact that he was a starter for the Red Sox, also pitched for the Chicago Cubs, but then reinvented his career. He and Tony La Russa. As a Cardinal, he was there, of course. He went out and pitched for La Russa out in Oakland, and they made him into a closer and became one of the most dominant closers of his time.
The American League MVP in 1992 when he saved 51 and had a 1.91 ERA. Count 2 balls and a strike to Sean Casey, looking for his first hit of the game. He's been on twice. He walked once and was hit by a pitch. Sean pulls it foul. The count, a ball and 2 strikes. Goose Gossage once said of Dennis Eckersley, he could hit a gnat in the butt. That's how good his control was. It's a pretty small target. I believe scientists consider a gnat's butt to be the smallest unit of measure. 2-2 pitch. It's outside for ball 3.
Save that one for the Simpsons.
Paul Molitor, the other player going into the Hall of Fame tomorrow. Earlier in the show, we were talking about great accomplishments by athletes 40 and over. Paul Molitor had a phenomenal year when he was 40 years old. Here's a looping liner into shallow left. A diving attempt by Jason Bay, and he caught it for the second out of the inning. Base steals one from Sean Casey.
Well, Casey's so dangerous because he hits it to any part of the ballpark, and you better be on your toes no matter where you're playing defense. And Jason Bay, a very fine outfielder, receiving that trade for Brian Giles, who went to San Diego. Boy, the Buccos really made a nice deal there.
Little Michael Jordan tongue out on that diving catch by Bay. Adam Dunn takes one outside for ball one.
You know, the only way you make that play is you get a great jump on the ball early on. He just came in full speed, never gave up.
Dunn loops one toward the left field line. That one's going to plop in front of Bay for a base hit. Dunn thinks about the double before applying the brakes. He has a 2-out single for his second straight hit.
Hey, you know what Adam Dunn is thinking? Probably Sean Casey too. Baseball just ain't fair. That ball way out on the end of the bat right there. Barely got enough of it to get out of the infield and into the outfield. And Sean Casey says, hey, I hit mine hard. And a guy makes a diving catch on me. This guy just a little squirter over the third baseman's head, and that goes in for a base knock.
That brings Jimenez to the plate. Had an RBI single in the third. Also drew a walk in the fourth. Dunn draws a pickoff throw and gets back safely. Just completing the thought on Paul Molitor. When he was 40 years old playing for the Twins, he had 225 hits. At the age of 40, batted .341. Now pitched low to Jimenez for ball one.
And you know, when he was in his heyday, he had such a quiet batting stance, barely moved a muscle, all wrist, just kind of waited until the ball got on before he moved. And so many amateur coaches and high school coaches along the way have tried to get their hitters to hit like that. That's not an easy thing to do.
Jimenez lines one up the middle. Wilson leaps and makes the catch for the final out of the inning. The Pirates have made 4 excellent defensive plays in the first 6 innings tonight. We're in the middle of the 6th. The Reds lead 4-2. Reds baseball on FSN Ohio, brought to you by Beachmont Ford. Easy to find, easy to deal with. The Reds up 4-2 going to the bottom of the 6th. Time for tonight's Corona Miles from Ordinary. It has to do with tomorrow afternoon starting pitcher Brandon Clausen, who has made 2 major league starts and has 2 W's. Albert Autry, the only pitcher since 1900 to win the only major league game he appeared in.
Since that time, since 1900, 86 different pitchers have started 1 game and pitched in only 1 game in the major leagues. And of course, until Brandon Clausen pitched that game last week against the Milwaukee Brewers for the Reds, he and Albert Autry were 2 that won their only game.
That ball belted to left by Bay, and it bounces on the warning track and into the stands. It'll be a ground rule double for the leadoff batter Jason Bay here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, again, the first runner has reached base for the Pirates, so it'll be Aaron Harang out of the stretch. A hanging breaking ball up above the waist, and boy, that ball was belted nicely by the Pirates left fielder.
It shows you how hard it is to hit it out to left here, because that ball was crunched. About a 380-foot poke. It bounced off the warning track and over the 6-foot-tall wall in left. Tyke Redmond at the plate. Grounder hit toward the left side, backhanded deep in the hole by Larkin. He'll have no play. It'll be an infield single for Tyke Redmond.
Well, Tyke Redmond really ought to be thinking about trying to hit the ball to the right side of the infield to get that runner over to third base, a productive out. But because Barry Larkin is pinned so close to second, trying to hold the runner on, he opens up the shortstop hole, and there's Tyke Redmond to take advantage. So an infield hit after a double. Randall Simon wouldn't be bunting, would he?
Impossible, I think. 2 on, nobody out. He is not bunting, and he takes outside for ball one. Simon, a good hitter, having a horrible year. Although he is 1 for 2 in this ball game to lift his average 4 points to 192. Harang's 1-0 pitch, swung on and missed by the free swinging Simon. The count 1 ball and 1 strike.
The JTM Food Group would like to salute the people of our community who unselfishly volunteer their time to help others. JTM Food Group, where service is success.
2 on, nobody out. The Reds up by 2. Simon swings, ground ball, single left. Bay being waved home. Dunn will not throw it home, and it's a one-run ball game in the 6th inning.
Randall Simon, one of those dangerous hitters because he's a great fastball hitter and he hits the ball all over the ballpark. You're never really sure where Randall Simon's going to hit the ball. And he was very late on the fastball the first time, made the adjustment, finds a hole on the left side of the infield and drives a run in.
Only the 11th RBI all year for Simon. Now the tying run is at second. The go-ahead run is at first. Still nobody out in the 6th. Warm-up activity going in the bullpen as Don Gullett once again visits Aaron Harang. John Riedling warming up.
Yeah, a couple of reasons for Don Gullett's visit. Number one, to give that guy, John Riedling, a couple of extra pitches or a few moments to warm up to get ready to come into the ballgame. Number two, to make sure that Aaron Harang and the rest of the infield know exactly how the Reds are going to play this defense here. Number 8 batter up, you got to figure a bunt is in order.
Friel about 2 steps in front of the bag at third as Harang delivers and Castillo takes a strike. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Reds, 3 runs on 6 hits for the Pirates. And now the fact that the Reds have stranded 10 base runners in this game looms very large. Bunted toward Casey. He'll throw to third, and it is not in time. The bases are loaded with nobody out.
Now that'll go down as a sacrifice and a fielder's choice. This looks like a good idea, except the fact that you've got the fastest Pirate on second base running. He gets a good jump right there. The play has to happen very quickly for you to get that runner at third, even though it's a sports play. Anybody but Redmond, I would recommend going to third base. But with him over there and as fast as he was, you take them out when they're going to give it to you. Bases loaded again and nobody out.
Pinch hitter Bobby Hill will step in against Aaron Harang. He's a switch hitter who will bat left-handed. With a tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second, another runner at first, and nobody out here in the 6th inning. Harang delivers. Hill swings and misses at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. The fastest pitch Harang has thrown tonight.
Well, Harang looks like he's ready to try to tee it up a little bit more, try to crank it up if he can. He needs a strikeout here if he can possibly get one.
His 0-1 pitch with the bases loaded. Catches the inside corner for strike 2. Redmond at third, Simon at second, Castillo at first. The 0-2 on the way. Looped into shallow left toward the line. Dunn coming hard. He dives. No, he caught it on a bounce. Redmond scores the tying run. It's a 4-4 game in the bottom of the 6th. And that'll be it for Aaron Harang. Dave Miley on his way to the mound. He will bring John Riedling into the ball game. So the Reds jumped out to an early 3-0 lead tonight. Aaron Harang unable to hold on to it. He'll leave with the bases loaded and the score tied at 4 in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, the Pirates aren't exactly knocking the fences down, but boy, they're hitting it in the right spot. Bobby Hill right there with a little bloop right in front of Adam Dunn. If he comes up with this ball, a double play at least, maybe a triple play, but he's able to glove it on the short hop. A base hit for Hill, an RBI, and as Adam Dunn fires it into the infield, the Pirates tie the ball game up. So exit Aaron Harang, enter John Riedling in for the 47th time, and The Pirates had a situation where the Reds had bases loaded, nobody out. They went to the bullpen. They brought in Ryan Vogelsong. He proceeded to get out of the jam by striking out 2 batters and popping one up. Well, that's exactly what John Riedling and the Reds need right now to preserve this tie.
Aaron Harang leaves after surrendering 4 hits in this inning. The first hit was well hit by Jason Bay, but as you mentioned, Chris, the last 3 not hit well at all. An infield single by Redmond, a slow grounder by Simon that found a hole. That bloop by Bobby Hill. Those hits have produced 2 runs so far. The base is loaded as Riedling pitches to Jason Kendall. Simon at third, not a fast runner. So on a ground ball, the Reds likely go to the plate, try and keep it a tie game. Kendall takes strike 1 from John Riedling. In his career with the bases loaded, Jason Kendall has upped his batting average to .372. The 0-1 from Riedling. This low to even the count at a ball and a strike. Riedling has faced Kendall 14 times. Kendall with 3 hits in those at bats, a .214 average. The 1-1 delivery. Ripped over the bag, fair down the left field line. Simon scores to give the Pirates the lead. Castillo scores to make it 6-4. It's a double for Kendall. And the Pirates have scored 4 times in the bottom of the 6th.
Oh, big innings. Stay away from big innings. That was the mantra that Dave Miley was talking about before the ball game. He had Jose Acevedo specifically in mind about that, but it applies tonight as the Pirates have scored 4 in this inning, and still the Reds are a long way away from getting out of this jam.
Nobody out, the heart of the order up. Here's Jack Wilson, who is 1 for 2, an RBI double, his 1 hit. Laid down a sac bunt his last time up. He swings at a pitch way outside of the strike zone for strike 1. Prior to that double by Jason Kendall, Riedling had retired 11 consecutive batters over his last 3 appearances. Those runs charged to starter Aaron Harang, who's given up 6 so far. Riedling came back with a similar pitch. This one a little bit further outside. The count evens up at a ball and a strike. Six runs on 8 hits for the Pirates, 4 runs on 7 hits for the Reds. Riedling out of the stretch. Jack Wilson swings and pulls it foul for strike 2. Another sold-out crowd tonight here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, trying to see if the Pirates can win for the 13th time in their last 14 home games. Pittsburgh next to last in the majors in attendance, but they have had big crowds so far in this series. Ground ball hit to third. The runners stay put. Frio bobbles it. He'll have no play on Jack Wilson. It'll be an error on Frio, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. An error on Frio, I should say.
9th error of the year for the Reds' third baseman. The ball just comes up on him a little bit and muffs the ball, and all hands are safe.
Dave Miley on his way to the mound again. And he will bring a left-hander in to pitch to left-handed swinging Rob Makoviak. Phil Norton gets the call. We'll take a break with the Pirates up 6-4 in the 6th inning. Kids Day at Great American Ballpark, thanks to Time Warner Cable, is coming up next Saturday, July 31st. Kids 12 and younger can get their pictures taken with the Yabba Dabba Doo Man, Fred Flintstone, Hey Boo Boo, Yogi Bear, or Hong Kong Phooey. Stop by the Boomerang display located along the third base concourse for games and fun for all ages. Don't miss your photo op with the Roadrunner or the Powder Puff Girls during Time Warner Cable Kids Day on Saturday, July 31st. The gates open at 11:15.
Well, Phil Norton in for the 42nd time. This season he has inherited 23 runners. He has allowed 6 of those to score. That's only a 20% rate of allowing them to score. That's pretty good overall for Phil Norton, and the Reds need another magic act right here to erase a very tough lefty.
The base is loaded, nobody out, and Makoviak is the 8th batter to step to the plate here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Norton, the breaking ball specialist, his first delivery, breaks in for strike 1. Makoviak drove in a run with a fly ball to fairly deep left his last time up. He has also grounded out and flied out in his other 2 plate appearances. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. The count to Makoviak. Hill is at third, Kendall is at second, Jack Wilson is at first. Norton trying to keep the Reds within 2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He has him in an 0-2 hole. Can he polish him off? The pitch popped up. Larkin gives chase. Barry will make the catch just on the grass beyond the infield dirt for the first out of the inning.
Good pitch by Norton right there. He kept the curveball on him. That's his calling card against left-handed hitters, and he threw it in a good spot.
And that's going to be it for Phil Norton. He was called on to pitch to the left-handed batter Makoviak. He got him out. Now Dave Miley will go to a right-hander to face the right-handed swinging Craig Wilson. Ryan Wagner gets the call and comes on with the bases loaded and 1 out. Bottom of the 6th. The Pirates up 6-4. Our next Reds telecast here on FSN Ohio coming up Monday night as the Reds open a 3-game series at home against the first place and sizzling hot St. Louis Cardinals. Paul Wilson goes to the mound for the Reds with a record of 9-2. He'll be opposed by Woody Williams, who's 7-6. We'll be on the air at 6:30 with the Real Reds. George is back for the play-by-play Monday night for game 1 of that homestand.
Well, Mike Matthews, a left-hander, went on the disabled list on the 4th of July. Ryan Wagner on that day was recalled from Louisville in for the 24th time overall for the Reds. Wagner, a couple of different stints. Tough situation for this young right-hander. Bases loaded, 1 out.
And he gave up a grand slam the last time he pitched a couple of days ago in Chicago. He starts Wilson off with that slider, his bread and butter pitch, and gets him to swing and miss for strike 1. Wilson, a double sandwiched in the middle of 2 strikeouts. 6-4 Pittsburgh. The Pirates have scored 4 times in the inning. Same pitch. This time Wilson lays off for ball 1. Craig Wilson up to 98 strikeouts this season. When he makes contact, he hits it hard, leading the Pirates with 18 home runs. There's a soft line drive over Larkin into left. It's a base hit. Hill scores. Kendall scores. 8-4 Pittsburgh. If a picture can paint 1,000 words, that look on the face of Dave Miley says it all.
Jason Kendall did his damage by driving a double. Here's a little blue pit on what looks like a little sinking fastball or maybe even a changeup. Came inside on Craig Wilson, but he is strong enough to get it over the head of Barry Larkin. And with bases loaded, it'll pop 2 in.
Jason Bay began this inning with a double. He hits for the 2nd time, and there's still only 1 out. Runners at first and third. 6 runs in. Ball 1 high and tight. Jack Wilson, the runner at third. Craig Wilson at first. And Jason Bay takes ball 2. Jason Bay is a Canuck from British Columbia, Canada. The 2-0 pitch to him. Fouled off for strike 1. Fox Sports Net welcomes our viewers watching on Time Warner Cable in Mount Vernon, Ohio, and Barberville Cable in Barberville, Kentucky. Thanks for watching Reds baseball on FSN. Wagner's 2-1 pitch, going away for ball 3.
Tough situation for Dave Miley. When you have to go to the bullpen this early, you don't go to those guys down there like Danny Graves or Todd Wagner or Todd Jones, who have had some experience in the major leagues, and you have a little better idea of exactly what you're going to get. You bring in Ryan Wagner, young guy, great stuff, still learning at this level.
Bay lines one to left for an RBI single. The Pirates score their 7th run of the inning as Jack Wilson crosses the plate. Still only 1 out, and Pittsburgh leads 9-4. Jason Bay with 2 hits in the inning, a double to get things started, and now that RBI single. And the batter will be Tyke Redmond, looking for his 2nd hit of the inning. An infield single. Hits one to Larkin. Good play by Barry on the short hop. Goes to second for 1. Back to first. Casey can't pick it. And the runner is safe. That'll put runners at first and third with 2 out.
Looked like a DP lane ground ball, no doubt about it. Sharply hit, handled by Larkin, a little bit on the slow side, and you have to turn it quick because Tyke Redmond, he can really scoot it down the line, and that throw being in the dirt. Casey not able to handle it, so it goes down as a fielder's choice. A run batted in, and the Pirates push yet another one across. Oh, no run on that one. We're so used to seeing him cross the plate 7 times in this inning. I just naturally assumed that was another run.
Craig Wilson did move to third. Runners at first and third for Randall Simon, who had an RBI single to drive in the first run in this inning. The first of 7 so far. Wagner's pitch. Bouncer hit toward the second baseman. And it's fielded and thrown to first by Jimenez to put an end to the inning. 12 Pirates come to the plate. 7 of them score, and at the end of 6, it's 9-4 Pittsburgh.
After a 7-run inning that puts the Buccos in main momentum and the big-time lead here in this 9-4 ball game, Brian Meadows, the 4th pitcher of the night for the Pirates, comes in 39 times for this right-hander. A very nice earned run average of 3.0. He's given up only 1 home run in those 38 previous games, covering 44 2/3 innings.
John Grabo stands to be the winner after pitching a scoreless inning in relief, unless the Reds can rally. They're down 5, but still have 3 innings to try and come back. Willie Mo Pena will lead off the 7th against Meadows. It's been a tough night for Willie Mo, who has stranded 6 base runners, and he swings and misses at the first delivery from the right-hander Meadows. Willie Mo batted with the bases loaded and nobody out in the 3rd. He struck out. Batter with the bases loaded and 2 men out in the 4th, and struck out again. Lays off that outside pitch, and the count is a ball and a strike. Meadows, a 28-year-old righty, a former starting pitcher with the Marlins and the Padres. Got off to a great start in his major league career. Won 11 games as a rookie. Gets Pena to swing and miss. And the count is a ball and 2 strikes.
Nice little breaking ball right there. Known now really for being a sinker ball pitcher with a very fine slider. It's kind of a slurve slider, a little slower than a hard slider, but boy, it's got good break on it. And that one was perfectly placed.
Attempts Willie Mo with an off-speed pitch again. And he says forget about it. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Willie Mo Pena batted cleanup last night for the first time in his career. He saved the lineup card as a souvenir, even though he did not have a good game. Takes outside for ball 3. It's a full count.
He's having a good at bat right now. Meadows is a good breaking ball pitcher, can be tough on right-handers, and if you chase that pitch, you're going to get an out. Laid off a couple of key pitches, hoping that Meadows is going to come play with a fastball.
Here comes the 3-2 pitch. In the dirt, ball 4. And the Reds, desperate for base runners, down by 5, get a leadoff walk from Willie Moe. Base runners have not been a problem for the Reds. They have stranded 10 in this game. They've had somebody on in every inning. They've only scored 4 runs so far. Cruz has lined out and struck out twice. Meadows misses for ball 1. The back end of the Pirate bullpen has been lights out. Jose Mesa has only blown 1 save opportunity all year. He's converted his last 10. And Torres has been a good setup man. They both pitched last night as Cruz fouls one out for strike 1. The guys leading up to those two have not been as effective. Although the Pirates have received excellent relief pitching tonight from Vogelsong and Graybo. Meadows out of the stretch, glances over his shoulder at Willie Moe. Delivers to Cruz and misses away for ball 2. The sold-out crowd getting a little bit restless. They don't like seeing a pitcher nibble with a 5-run lead and 9 outs to go.
Ditto that for Lloyd McClendon.
Cruz swings, hits it sharply, but Castillo makes another diving stop and starts a 4-6-3 double play. Castillo having the night of his life defensively. That's his 3rd diving stop in this ball game.
Well, the Pirates have laid some leather on the Reds all night long. Jose Castillo has done it. Here's a great play. He goes into shallow right field to make a play against Ryan Freel. Again, don't hit it down to that guy. The beginning of a double play, Jacob Cruz. Jason Bay in from left, a diving catch. And one more time, there is Jack Wilson ranging into shallow center field to make a dive or make a leaping catch right there. And a pitcher's best friend, other than a double play ball, great defense, and the Pirates have provided that for their pitchers this evening.
Jose Castillo, only 22 years old, making the jump from AA ball to the majors this year. Hasn't hit very well, but he can certainly pick it at second base. 2 out, the base is empty. And the hitter is Jason LaRue, who has singled, popped up, and walked. And the count is even at a ball and a strike as he fouls off that delivery from Meadows. Sierra Mist, shockingly refreshing. Unleash the fresh taste of lemon lime. Sierra Mist from the makers of Pepsi, the choice of the Reds. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled off by Jason LaRue. If LaRue can keep the inning alive, John Vanderwall has moved into the on-deck area to hit for pitcher Ryan Wagner. Todd Jones warming up in the Reds bullpen. Vanderwall, the only left-handed hitter on the bench, although switch hitter Javier Valentin also available. Strike 3 called as Jason LaRue gets rung up by Alfonso Marquez and does not go quietly. It's 7th inning stretch time in Pittsburgh. The Pirates lead 9-4. If you are a senior citizen, the Reds have a deal for you. It's Senior Citizen Discount Special Night at the ballpark, Wednesday, the 28th. The Reds meet the Cardinals at 7:10, and if you're a senior, you can get half-price tickets. That's right. All Reds fans 60 and older may purchase half-price, non-premium tickets in advance of game day. That's Wednesday at 7:10 as the Reds meet the Cardinals for the Senior Citizen Night Special. Let's take a look at our Chrysler game summary. The Reds had a 4-2 lead going to the bottom of the 6th. Disaster struck in the form of 7 runs. 6 of them charged to starter Aaron Harang. 5 of them, I should say, in the inning. The other 2 charged to John Riedling. 1 of them earned. 9 runs, 10 hits for the Pirates. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Reds. Jose Castillo, who's had the great night with the glove, leads off in the bottom of the 7th inning against Ryan Wagner. The 0-1 pitch. This is outside for a ball. Wagner delivers and throws it way inside for a ball. It goes to 2 balls and a strike on Jose Castillo. Introducing a delicious twist on ordinary chicken salad. Arby's Market Fresh Chicken Salad. Try a sandwich, wrap, or bowl. One great chicken salad and 3 ways to enjoy it. Now at Arby's. The 2-1 pitch fouled off the leg of Castillo. He hits the deck in pain, and the count's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's beating himself up in this at bat. He picked one, looked like right off the plate, and came up and hit him in the face on the first pitch. This time he pounds it off his ankle. Well, he started to yell even before he fell down. Right smack on the bone.
That's why hitters, including Sean Casey, wear protection on that front foot. The 2-2 pitch fouled back. It's still 2-2. Bucky Dent is considered to be the first player who used to wear that shin guard as a hitter, and on the most famous at bat of his career, the home run off Mike Torres over the Green Monster at Fenway, was the only time that entire 1978 season he did not wear the shin guard. He forgot it in that pressure situation. He went deep. Bouncing ball to short, booted by Larkin. Castillo is safe as the Reds commit their 2nd error of the ball game.
Well, we showed you the great defensive package the Pirates have put on the Reds earlier tonight. The Reds have not exchanged good glove work tonight. An error by both infielders on the left side of the infield. Earlier, Ryan Freel, that hop not handled by Barry Larkin.
A pinch hitter will step to the plate for the Pirates. It'll be Abraham Nunez. A switch hitter who will bat left-handed against Ryan Wagner. Nunez hitting .250 with a couple of home runs. Tries to bunt the runner over and bunts it foul for strike 1.
This 9th spot in the Pirates order has come up 4 times on the night, and Lloyd McClendon has had 4 different hitters bat in that lineup spot.
And none of them have made an out. Vogelsong walked. Alvarez was hit by a pitch. Hill had a bloop single. And here's Nunez. Takes a strike. Castillo, the runner at first, had a stolen base back in the 3rd inning. It was the first of his career, the first he's attempted at the age of 22. Not much of a swing by Nunez there. He did manage to make contact to stay alive. As you can see in the Pirate dugout, they scratch out the players who have been used among the extra men to know who is still available. Nunez hits a lazy fly ball to left. Dunn backs up 2 steps and makes the one-handed catch for the first out of the inning. So with 1 out and Castillo aboard at first, Jason Kendall will step to the plate for the 5th time tonight. And he had a huge hit his last time up. With a score tied at 4, he ripped a 2-run double to left. Put the Pirates in front. Castillo diving back on the pickoff throw from Ryan Wagner. And that fastball taken for a ball by Kendall. Kendall closing in on the all-time Pirates record for most games caught in his career. He is 9 short of someone who played in the early 1900s named George Gibson. And unlike a lot of guys who catch more than 1,000 games or 2,000 games, Kendall doesn't appear to be showing much wear and tear. He's a thin guy, keeps himself in good shape, good athlete.
And you'd think that batting at the top of the order and doing the things that are required more of leadoff hitters and other hitters down the lineup, it would have some more wear and tear.
When you think about the catchers in baseball history that have caught a ton of games, when you see them later in life, they have a lot of aches and pain. Johnny Bench, of course, has had a lot of back pain.
Hip problems.
His career, hip problems. He's lost a lot of weight to try to alleviate the pain. They say with Carlton Fisk, when he walks, his knees are so bad it sounds like a bowl of Rice Krispies. They snap, crackle, and pop. 3-0 pitch to Kendall is outside for ball 4. He draws a walk, and 2 men are on here in the 7th inning.
Kendall is a remarkable athlete, and that's the only time that you'll see him not go full blast down the baseline. This guy runs at every ground ball, every pop-up, the kind of player that you'd like to have on your ball club if you had an extra $10 million a year laying around.
You can have them if you have an extra $10 million with 2 years left on that hefty deal, and the Pirates with a team payroll of $30 million. Here's Jack Wilson with 2 men on. Wagner throws him a fastball for a strike. Wilson with 1 hit, an RBI double in the 3rd. And he fouls that out of play for strike 2. Wagner pitched very well when he went back to Louisville after a rocky start this year with the Reds. That ball lifted in the air toward left center. Willie Moe on the run, and he makes the running catch. Castillo tags at second. He'll advance to third. Willie Moe slips in the outfield after getting rid of it, but he made a fine catch to take a possible extra base hit away from Jack Wilson.
He covers a lot of ground. Willie Moe, a big guy. He's got to go 240 pounds anyway, but he runs like a deer, and he got a good jump on that ball.
That's going to be it for Ryan Wagner, as Todd Jones will be summoned by Dave Miley with 2 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pirates have runners at first and third. Rob Makoviak coming up, I should say, and Jones coming in.
Todd Jones, second in the appearance department for the Cincinnati Reds. Here, 49 games on the season. Only Danny Graves has pitched in more ball games. He at 51. Jones bashing a nice 8-2 record. And when you've got a setup man with an 8-2 record, some others in the bullpen may call him Vulture wins, but here he is. He's normally the 8th inning pitcher for the Reds. He comes in here in the 7th inning with a couple out.
Runners at first and third. Number 3 hitter Makoviak at the plate. Jones starts him off with a slow curve for strike 1. San Francisco Giants said to be interested in Todd Jones, and he would be their closer if they could complete a deal with the Reds. Trade deadline a week away. There's a swing and a line drive to left for a base hit. Castillo scores, and the Pirates are in double digits. It's Pittsburgh 10 and Cincinnati 4. Craig Wilson steps in. He has 2 hits, including a 2-run single his last time up.
Boy, we've seen that face an awful lot since the All-Star break. The Reds have had a dismal record. They're playing in their 4th game on this 5-game road trip, and they've yet to win a ball game.
I would describe that as a pained expression.
Well, you know, he looks up at that scoreboard and he sees in the 6th inning a 7 spot put up there by the Pirates, and those are the kind of innings that just not only do they just take, you lose a commanding lead in the ball game, but it just takes the wind right out of your sails.
Todd Jones out of the stretch. And he falls behind Craig Wilson. 2 balls and no strikes. Two on and 2 out. And Jones falls behind 3 balls and no strikes. Todd Jones, fine pitcher, excellent writer. Writes a weekly column for the Sporting News called The Closer. His 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. He had writer's block the other day. He was looking for topics for his next column and sought some help from Marty Brennaman, who gave him a suggestion to write about what's it like to be in the clubhouse when you know the possibility of good friends and teammates being traded as the end of July approaches. That's coming up in his next column.
I wonder how the spin of that might be if it is indeed yourself who might be traded.
Wilson swings and foul tips it on 3-1. He was taking a big hack for a 3-run homer.
Well, if you're around the game long enough, chances are you're at least one time in your career you'll be traded, bought, sold, released, brought up, sent down, or maybe all of the above.
The runners go on 3-2, and Wilson fouls it out of play. That certainly happened to the Reds last year. Barry Larkin said goodbye to several good friends in late July. Good to see that one of them has resurfaced with the Cleveland Indians, Aaron Boone, who of course was signed by Cleveland several weeks ago, but he has officially joined the Major League Ball Club now. He's not active to play. That can't happen until August, but he has joined his Major League teammates and is rehabbing with the Major League club. Runners get set to take off again on 3-2. Todd Jones delivers and misses high. Ball 4 that loads him up. With Jason Bay stepping in. Jason Bay has 2 hits in this ball game, and they both came in the last inning. A double and an RBI single. Jones throws a breaking pitch and misses outside for ball 1. The Pirates have 11 hits in this ball game, meaning that in the Reds' last 10 games, they've given up 11 or more hits in 8 out of the 10. Since the Reds were a season high 12 games over 500 on the 6th of June, their pitching staff has really struggled. The team ERA in the 42 games since over 6. Jason Bay fouls off a fastball as the count evens at a ball and a strike. Jason Bay, 25 years old, part of this young, talented core. The Pirates don't mess things up. They could have a very good team in a couple of years. That's inside to Bay. The count's 2 balls and a strike.
I think the Pirates have learned the lesson, like every other ball club, that you can promote, you can give away tickets, you can do whatever you want, but until you put a winner on the ball club, you're not on the ball field, you're not going to see your stands filled the way they are tonight. This is the 4th sellout of the year here at PNC Park, mainly because it's figurine night.
Line drive off the glove of the diving Larkin into left. 2 runs will score as Kendall and Makoviak cross the plate. Pittsburgh has put a dozen on the board. It's 12-4.
line shot. What could have been wasn't. Right off the glove of Barry Larkin. That ball hit sharply by Jason Bay. Larkin makes a diving attempt, but that ball would be deflected into left field.
3 runs batted in now for Bay. Here's Tyke Redmond. Ground ball hit to Jimenez. He backhands, flips to Larkin, and the side's retired after 3 more score in the 7th for Pittsburgh. At the end of 7 at PNC Park, it's the Pirates 12, the Reds 4. As if Spider-Man 2 isn't getting enough promotion, we have spotted the world's scariest looking spider at PNC Park tonight. 37,000 fans and one nasty looking spider in attendance.
What a tangled web we weave when we give up 7 runs in 1 inning. 10 in 2 innings, and you add them all up, it's a 12-4 ball game. And with the Pirates in control, here's Willis Roberts. Looks like Lloyd McClendon is emptying his bullpen. This is the 6th pitcher of the night. It didn't look like it was going to be this way when it all started, and Josh Fogg was out of here after 2 innings of 5-hit 3-run baseball. But the Pirates have come back big time, and there's J.R. House as part of the double switch.
John Vanderwall pinch hits to lead off the top of the 8th. Takes a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Roberts for strike 1. Roberts has a good arm, doesn't always know where it's going. Count evens up with a ball and a strike. Vanderwall, the former Pirate. And John takes one high for ball 2. John has bounced around, played for several different major league teams. Prior to the Reds, his most recent employer, the Milwaukee Brewers, last year. Now the count goes to 3 balls and a strike. I asked him recently of his various stops which was his favorite, and he said it was the 1 year he spent playing for the New York Yankees. Not necessarily because he loved New York, but he loved going to the ballpark knowing that he was going to win 2 out of every 3 games. Here's a swing and a fly ball into shallow right. Trouble for Craig Wilson. He won't get it. And Vanderwall has a leadoff pinch hit single. Join the Red Rooters September 6th through 8th as they journey to Houston's Minute Maid Park, the site of this year's All-Star Game. They'll be there for 2 Reds games for $680. This trip includes round-trip airfare, 2 nights lodging at the Westin, 3 meals, and a Central Division battle between the Reds and Stros. For more info on trips from Provident Travel, visit their website, providentvacations.com, or call toll-free 1-800-354-8108. Friel takes a strike from Roberts. Ryan looking for his 2nd hit of the game. He could have 3 already. He's been robbed twice by second baseman Jose Castillo. And Friel's behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Swung on and missed. Roberts picks up his first strikeout, and 5 different Pirate pitchers have combined for a total of 9 punchouts in this game.
Now, they had 13 punchouts last night against the Cincinnati Reds. The Reds lead all of Major League Baseball in total strikeouts by a ball club.
That brings Barry Larkin to the plate. Larkin's had a good night. Homered in the 1st, doubled to drive in a run in the 3rd, walked and scored in the 4th, grounded out to the pitcher in the 6th. Barry hits one down the right field line. It's in there for a hit. Played on a bounce by Wilson, and Larkin has his 3rd hit of the ball game and passes Davey Concepcion for 2nd on the Reds' all-time hit list. He'll get that baseball, requesting that the umpire retrieve it from shortstop Jack Wilson. And Randy Whistler, the Reds' first base coach, flips it into the dugout to add to Barry Larkin's growing collection of souvenirs. It's in the trusty hands of Mark Mann, the Reds trainer. Barry's got to have some great stuff over the last 19 years with all he's accomplished. Sean Casey steps in, looking for his first hit tonight. Roberts misses inside for ball 1. .2,327 hits for Barry Larkin. Only Pete Rose has more in Reds history. His Hall of Fame case gets better and better. I saw Bob Uecker recently said that Barry Larkin is a Hall of Famer in his opinion. In an article in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. Count goes to 2-0 on Sean Casey. You know, Barry Larkin has a .295 career batting average, up to .300 this year. And because of the great offensive shortstops in baseball right now, I don't think many people realize how rare it is to play in more than 1,000 games at that position and hit close to .300. Count goes to 3-0 on Sean Casey. The last shortstop in Major League history to play more than 1,000 games and finish his career with a batting average .300 or better, Luke Appling, who retired in 1950. Now Larkin is not going to finish better than .300, but he's awfully close at .295. With an MVP and 3 Gold Gloves to his credit, he'll certainly get a lot of Hall of Fame consideration. Casey walks to load him up.
Well, there are Hall of Famers, Hall of Fame shortstops who are in Cooperstown this weekend with not as good offensive credentials as Barry Larkin.
Absolutely. Well, you played with a Hall of Fame shortstop in San Diego, and Ozzie Smith, certainly worthy of his Hall of Fame induction strictly for his glove, but for much of his career he couldn't hit at all.
You're absolutely right. I mean, he could dominate a ball game with his glove, but not the bat. Barry Larkin is as well all-around ball player that I ever played with.
Lloyd McClendon's seen enough of Willis Roberts. He yanks him after he loads the bases with a 1 out. Pitching change made with the Pirates up by 8. The Pirates have made several excellent defensive plays in this ball game. Jason Bay made one of them. This catch, Chris, looks eerily familiar.
Certainly does. We've seen good left fielders lately and good fielding left fielders. There's Jeff Jenkins of the Milwaukee Brewers, does it glove up and makes a diving catch, and we've seen enough of that fine glove work from the opposition. Well, it was bad pitching by Willis Roberts that forced his exit from the ball game after the Reds have loaded the bases now with a couple of hits and a base on balls and 1 out. To the bullpen, Lloyd McClendon goes, and he is not afraid to bring in a reliever, this time a left-hander, Mike Gonzalez, in for the 21st time on the season.
He comes on with the bases loaded. The Reds have 2 Grand Slam home runs this year, and Gonzalez surrendered one of them to Willie Mo Pena. His first pitch to Adam Dunn out of the strike zone for ball 1. Dunn with hits his last 2 times up, a bloop single to left. After a sharply hit double to right, he's driven in 1 of the Reds' 4 runs. They trail 12-4, but have them loaded here in the 8th. That evens the count of the ball and a strike. Vanderwall at third, Larkin at second, and Casey at first. Strike 2 call. Gonzalez comes in, gunning 94-mile-an-hour heat to the plate. And you're right, Chris. This Pittsburgh staff has no shortage of flamethrowers. Ending with Jose Mesa at the back of the bullpen. Dunn fouls off a 95-mile-an-hour pitch and hangs in there at 1-2.
You know, it's rare enough to find a staff full of arms as talented as far as raw stuff as the Pittsburgh Pirates, but couple that with the fact that they've got 2 left-handers on this staff. Oliver Perez, I saw him last night throwing 97. He's thrown it up as hard as 98 against the Reds this year. You got a reliever coming in here now, mid-90s. Very rare to see lefties throw that hard.
Gonzalez strikes out Dunn for the 2nd out of the inning.
Interesting story about Mike Gonzalez last year in July when Scott Sauerbeck was traded to the Boston Red Sox. He was included in the trade along with Mike Gonzalez. 8 days later, though, the Boston Red Sox dealt him right back here to the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was all over the place last year. Good slider following a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Puts away Adam Dunn.
Jimenez, the batter, swinging a fly ball to right, and it'll be caught for the final out of the inning. The Reds load him up but fail to score. They have stranded 13 runners in the game. And in the middle of the 8th, the Pirates lead it 12-4.
Well, Danny Graves comes in, obviously not a save situation. The Reds are down by 8, but he's got to get a little tune-up work. Danny Graves in for the 51st time. He is the 6th pitcher used by Dave Miley this evening.
And he'll be facing the bottom third of the batting order here in the bottom of the 8th, beginning with Randall Simon, who has 2 hits and a run batted in. First ball swinging, grounds it to second, scooped up by Jimenez. 1 pitch, 1 out for Danny Graves. Tim Hummel came into the game to play shortstop. Barry Larkin done for the night. And after pinch hitting and singling, John Vanderwall stays in the game to play first base. A nice round of applause for Jose Castillo as he steps in. And the applause is for his defense as he's made 3 diving stops in the ball game. He goes after the first pitch and grounds a single to left. So Danny Graves, who is a control freak in terms of his pitching, almost never walks a batter. And his first 2 pitches have been over the plate. Both hitters have gone after them. Both hitters have hit it on the ground. Simon grounded one right to Jimenez, and Castillo found a hole.
It's been a week since Danny Graves has been in a ball game. Don't know whether he is resting a tired arm or have a physical ailment.
J.R. House, first ball swinging, rips one over the bag and down the line. Dunn picks it up, guns it to second. House is safe with a double. And the Pirates are at it again. Runners at second and third with 1 out here in the 8th inning. That's the first major league hit this year for J.R. House, the 2nd of his career. He had a hit last year in his major league debut. And the batter will be pitcher Mike Gonzalez, stepping to the plate for the first time in his Major League Baseball career. He is a left-handed relief specialist, usually pitches to 1 or 2 batters, and had never been called upon to hit before. The Reds bring the infield in. And Graves throws a strike to Gonzalez. Runners lead at second and third. Breaking ball from Danny, in for a strike, and it's 0-2 to Gonzalez. The 0-2 pitch. Gonzalez checked his swing, and the pitch missed outside for ball 1. After scoring 1 run in the first 4 innings, the Pirates have scored in every inning since. They haven't scored yet here in the 8th, but they are certainly threatening a 2-minute scoring position and 1 out.
And the trend that we have seen all too many times in the last month or so is the Reds offense have simply shut down here in the second half of this ball game.
There's a line drive to right for a hit for Gonzalez, and it gets past Cruz and rolls to the wall. 2-run score. Gonzalez stops at second base. It's a 14-4 Pittsburgh lead.
Well, you know he wants to smile. The guys in the Pirate dugout are going crazy. They've all gotten up off the bench and they're bowing to him.
Last night's hero, Oliver Perez, doling out the high fist fives. And Gonzalez is a 1,000 hitter in his major league career. Tell you what, since that was his first major league at bat, he's been in the big leagues for a while, he would have a shot of finishing his career with 1,000 average. He's not going to get up there very often.
I'll tell you what, he set up Danny Graves pretty good. Took 3 pitches, looked at the breaking ball, and hit the fastball the other way.
In case you're wondering, there have been quite a few ball players who finished their career with 1,000 batting averages. Most of them only batted once. Jack Wilson is the hitter. Chops one toward third. Friel throws to first, and it's in time for the second out of the inning. The all-time major league record for most at bats without ever making an out is 3. Tom Pachorik's brother, his first name escapes me, went 3 for 3 in his career. That was it. 2 out, a runner at second, and Rob Makoviak will be the hitter.
You are the new master of minutia.
Well, it's 14-4. You empty the briefcase when
you
it's 14-4.
You would have to remind me.
First pitch to Makoviak taken for ball 1. And the count goes to no balls. I checked that. 1 ball and 1 strike to Makoviak, who has one of the 15 Pittsburgh hits. An RBI single his last time up. Fouled off at the plate for strike 2. And I am informed that it was John Pachorik, who in 1963 for the Houston Colt 45s went 3 for 3 in his only major league game. Strike 3 called as Graves paints the inside corner and ends the inning. But 2 more score on 3 more hits. We head to the 9th with the Pirates in front by 10. We head to the 9th in Pittsburgh. The Pirates up by double digits. It's 14-4. Unless the Reds score some runs in the 9th, this could be their second double-digit loss in a span of 3 days. They lost to the Cubs 13-2 on Thursday.
You know, ball clubs get on good rolls and they get on bad rolls. Right now, they played obviously against the St. Louis Cardinals recently on a tremendous upside roll. The Chicago Cubs trying to get well. They did so in 2 games against the Reds as the Reds went through Chicago. And here in Pittsburgh, the Pirates come into this ball game winners of 18 of the last 24 overall. So Lloyd McClennan's got his Buccos playing good baseball, and the Reds, well, they're going in the opposite direction.
Willie Mo Pena leads off against Mike Gonzalez. Willie Mo 0 for 2, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And he takes a strike from the hard-throwing lefty. The Pirates' hot streak began at Great American Ballpark. The game after, Willie Mo hit a grand slam off this pitcher. Gonzalez brushes him back and evens the count at a ball and a strike. That was on June 25th. And since then, the Pirates have been beating everybody except for the Expos. They couldn't beat the Expos just before the All-Star break in Puerto Rico. But particularly teams from the Central. This would be their 11th consecutive win against Central Division foes. Willie Mo swings and misses. In danger of striking out for the 3rd time. That fight more competitive, unfortunately, than this game has become since the 6th inning. Still 2-2 to Willie Mo. It'll be interesting to see what the attendance is tomorrow. Fireworks last night, Willie Stargell figurines tonight. Will this hot play by the Pirates lead to a big crowd tomorrow afternoon? Willie Mo rips one foul up the left field line.
Well, the Pirates still playing below 500 baseball, but they certainly have got a trend right now that you'd think that they've got a chance for getting there. They come into this ball game 4 games below 500 at 45 and 49. 15 games off the pace set by St. Louis, who has already lost tonight, but the Reds came in 3 games over.
The Pirates were 16 games under after that Willie Mo grand slam game at GABP. And after 12 consecutive losing seasons, if they could get up and over 500 this year, that would be a tremendous step forward. 3-2 pitch to Willie Mo. Fouled off a little bit late.
Well, against the good ball clubs, though, the Pittsburgh Pirates have excelled. Against those teams that are playing 500 or better baseball, the Pirates have had 36 wins, most in the National League. St. Louis has 35 wins. You see Houston and the Cubs. A very competitive division, with the exception, of course, of St. Louis running away with it.
Hard grounder up the middle. A diving stop by Jack Wilson. And a great pick at first by Randall Simon. Add another play to the highlight reel.
Boy, 2 Gold Glove type plays on this one ground ball alone. Jack Wilson, we have seen Jack Wilson over the years make some tremendous plays. Made a leaping catch on a ball early in the game. That time gets up quickly, fires to first base. Remember, William O. Pena runs pretty well, and that ball short hopped at the other end. Randall Simon there to do the picking.
Jason Romano will step in to face the left-handed pitcher Gonzalez, batting in place of Jacob Cruz. And Romano takes it inside for ball 1. Romano got a start last night against Oliver Perez, as Dave Miley stacked the lineup with as many right-handed bats as he could. Count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Romano went 0 for 3 last night. One out, the base is empty in the 9th as Romano watches a strike. John Grabo stands to be the winner. Aaron Harang, the loser for the Reds. He would fall to 6-3. It would be his first loss ever to the Pirates. Check swing, ground ball. Scooped up at second by Castillo, and the Reds are down to their final out. We invite you to stay tuned for the Gold Star Reds wrap coming up after this ball game. We'll look back at highlights and see how the Pittsburgh Pirates rallied from a 3-run deficit to score 14 runs on 15 hits in this game. That's the Gold Star Chili Reds wrap coming up. Many of the 37,000 fans standing in Pittsburgh. Jason LaRue tries to keep it alive. He had a hit his first time up. He's 0 for 2 with a walk since. And that evens the count at a ball and a strike. Gonzalez's fastballs have been 94 and 95 miles an hour without exception. His breaking pitch misses. It's 2 balls and a strike. Valentine has moved into the on-deck circle if LaRue keeps this game alive. Line drive, base hit. Jason's second hit of the game. And the Reds are in double figures in the hit column with 10. So Javier Valentine will get to hit. Batting in place of John Vander Wal. As the switch hitter will get an opportunity to hit right-handed against Mike Gonzalez. Rue will not be held at first by Randall Simon with the Pirates up by 10. And the first pitch fastball misses high. Jason Bay very deep and left. He must have seen the 2 home runs that Valentine had off Greg Maddux a couple of days ago. A swing and a miss. As Valentine guessed fastball and was way out in front of the off-speed pitch from Gonzalez.
Dave Miley giving Valentine a chance to bat right-handed here. Likely he'll be the catcher in tomorrow's afternoon affair, catching Brandon Clausen.
And the Reds are down to their final strike. the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fogg, Vogelsong, Graybo, Meadows, Roberts, and Gonzalez all used tonight by Lloyd McClendon. Dave Miley has gone through 6 pitchers as well, with vastly different results. 2-2 pitch inside for ball 3. LaRue takes off at first. Strike 3 call. The Pirates' 10th strikeout of the game for the pitching staff. And the Reds remain winless on this road trip with 1 game to go. Fireworks over the Roberto Clemente Bridge beyond the center field fence as the Pittsburgh Pirates score 14 runs on 15 hits and take their 2nd straight in Pittsburgh from the Reds. Tonight's final, the Pirates 14, the Reds 4.